Welcome to Coach Hayes Football Live. He can talk about anything from high school to the pros. This guy knows the game, so you better not be half-stepping.
I can guarantee you most of the audience is going to agree with me before they agree with you.
Strap in, because Coach Hayes is about to
crack your cranium and fertilize your brain. Go ahead and right here, right now.
Subscribe now and check out CoachHayesFootball.com.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Primetime Talk, episode 15 in the building. We got a lot to talk about, a little bit of time to do it, so we're going to jump straight into it. I got a great guest coming up here. Most of you guys know him. If you don't, you've been living under a rock. But when it comes to Primetime Talk, he definitely makes it happen. Coach been up under the gun a little bit when it comes to these Buffaloes, if you understand what I'm saying. But I've been on the world tour. I've been around, and it is what it is. But this is what I had to tell people.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So say good night to the bad guy.
Say good night to the bad guy. If you want me to be that, I'll be the bad guy. It is what it is. But again, I am speaking nothing but my opinion through my experiences, and that's okay. I got another gentleman, like I say, coming on here literally in probably about 10 seconds as a guest, and we're going to have a great conversation tonight. And I know, people are going to have their opinions. We're going to open up the phone line. We're going to talk about it. We're going to make it definitely happen. So without further ado, shut your trap, Coach Hayes, and going to bring in my man, Bigg Dogg Chico in the building. What's up with you? Oh, hold on. I got you muted, dog. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And they're going to say you got that Canes junk up there, Coach. My bad from the last show. See, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. It's
What's
all
happening,
good,
Coach?
man.
How you doing?
I'm good, brother, man. I appreciate you, man, coming on, man. Thanks for coming, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about this a little bit real quick. I posted a poll in the chat, so you guys are more than welcome to take part of it. Actually, one of the subscribers put it in before we started the show and just simply said, Coach, it'd be a good idea. Who you think will win a bowl game? I put it up there for fun. It's all entertainment. But right now, the Buffaloes are in the lead at 54%. Miami Hurricanes at 55%. Miami Hurricanes at 45%. So right now, people are saying the Buffs will whoop the Canes, and that's cool. It is what it is. But it's like I said, it's all for fun and entertainment. Don't Twitter me to death when it comes to that. You understand? They want to type in all caps around here, and I get it, man. I totally understand when it comes to that. Let me take the phone line off right quick. We're not into that part yet. All right. Chico, just real quick, Bigg Dogg Chico. I can't call anybody Deion Sanders. So Bigg Dogg Chico. Bigg Dogg Chico. Just introduce yourself, I guess, kind of what you're doing background, so people that may not have seen you know whatever, where they can find you and all that good stuff.
All right. You could address me. Chico is all good too, man. That's my real name. Chico is my real name. Bigg Dogg is a nickname. Came from playing sports. I'm originally from Selma, Alabama, the crib, 27 SEL. Anybody shouldn't, if you know your history as a people, you should know something about Selma, Alabama. So I came up there. I'm a football vet, I like to call myself. Attended University of Alabama, Birmingham, played with some greats there. Went to the first bowl game there. Continued my career playing some arena football. Had a chance in NFL, overseas NFL, Europe, Canadian League could have played in, but I actually just played overseas and also some arena football in Texas before I went overseas to play football. Came back home, got into coaching, entrepreneurship, and led me to YouTube, exactly where I am now, where I was doing video editing for a while, then had to get back to my roots, which is sports and football. So that's what we have now. That's what we're doing now. We're covering on my channel a lot of Coach Prime stuff and CU stuff, mainly Coach Prime content, keeping up with him and pushing the narrative forward.
Definitely, man. Well, I appreciate it. I'm going to give a couple shots out to people in the building right quick. We got Charlie D'Amelio Army, hashtag Bigg Dogg Gang. I'm loving it, man. We got Joe, a.k.a. Google Man, in the building. Coach Hayes, coach these boys up today. Well, we're going to have fun with it, man. Smash the like button. Chico was in there earlier talking about run them likes up. Run them likes up. They don't know we was having they know we was having a party before we went live up in here, but we was old school Master P up in this joint. Bishop in the building. There go my producer. Hey, Chanel in the building with a thumbs up. She let me know everything looks good, sounds good with a thumbs up. Paco, what they do. Cuban Kane. Like I say, baby Shaq. Baby Shaq, boy, I'm at
Baby Shaq.
Baby Shaq. I got to get on Baby Shaq. But anyway, I would love to give a lot of love right now, but I know we kind of limited on time in this deal. And let's push on forward. First of all, I'd like to start off with, I know, prayers up for Coach Prime. He's going through his surgical procedures here over the next couple of days. I don't know the exact day, but over the next couple of days, he'll be dealing with that. He had to skip media days for that. And I believe media days are tomorrow. Am I correct?
Correct. They'll have the Pac-12 Media Day tomorrow, 21st. Look like, of course, he made the announcement that he will not be there, and he's going to have great representation. That's why you see Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback, and also Travis Hunter, the 5-star cornerback athlete, who's been voted on as a Pac-12 first-teamer and honorable mention across the board, special teams, defense, and offense. So they'll be well represented. I'm not sure which coach will be there or if any coach will be there, but like Coach Prime said, though, they'll be well represented.
Yeah, definitely, man. So, and, like I said, our prayers are up. We know he's been fighting those medical issues, and I take my hat off to him. I said that from the beginning. I said that Little Dre Check. Oh, I know that name. That Little Dre used to bust my head when I used to, but he was one of them haters out there. He said, Coach Hayes, it ain't Coach Hayes, it's Coach Hates.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So I appreciate you subscribing, my man. I appreciate it. But anyhow, I just want to say to Coach Prime, I have to take my hat off, man, to a guy who, again, I'm not pocket checking, but I don't think he needs the money to do this. He doesn't need the headache and the hassle and what it takes to do coaching, as well as going through such medical procedures. Most coaches would have hung the whistle up by now, and he's done a tremendous job of just fighting through that in the process of getting toes amputated and all of that good stuff. And there's plenty of good coaches. I know he wants to deal with his sons, and there's plenty of good coaches that he could definitely leave his sons in the hands of. But he said, you know what, I'm going to fight through this deal, and so forth and so on, whatever else his motivation is. Anything you like to speak to that before we go
on? Well, he's having these surgeries once again to try to correct these blood clots so that his foot can be in I guess a sustainable form, to go throughout the season. I'm sure he's trying to get all of this done so that when the season starts, it's not like one of those situations in Jackson where he has to miss a couple weeks or he's on the sideline in the wheelchair or push buggy or whatever you want to call it. He's trying to avoid those things. So he's trying to do exactly what he probably thinking he should have done 15, 20 years ago. And that's try to get this thing corrected the right way within the right amount of time. And just go about it instead of trying to move fast, move correctly, and get it done. That way he can heal properly and be back for the season.
Yeah, I mean, if people know anything about blood clots, I'm not a medical doctor, but people know that those are very serious. And I know he's getting the proper care with the training. I don't know the training staff name. The head person, I think, is a lady, but she definitely takes care of him. I've seen a few videos where she does daily massages, 2 or 3 hours, every 2 or 3 hours, and so forth and so on. But like I said, my prayers are out for Coach Prime, and wish him well, definitely through the surgical procedure, man.
Yeah, definitely prayers up for Coach Prime.
Yeah, I definitely have to go ahead and do this. Peanut, he Roll Tide. I got to go in and give him a
Roll Tide
slap to the face.
Oh man, Roll Tide, man! Shouts out to my Blazers, but it's home state. When I came out, Crimson Tide was when I came out, Crimson Tide was on probation. So when they recruited us, or I say us, a lot of I guess good players around.
Hometown guys,
home state guys. They were on. They were in a hard time with Franchoni, I think it was the coach, and but they were on that probation, and we were coming like, hey man, we want to go to a bowl game. So, but me, I wanted to stay in state. Didn't want to go to Auburn, even though they offered me. Georgia offered me. Tennessee offered me. So I ended up staying in state, going to UAB, which was an up and coming program at the time. Had a bunch of good recruits coming in, and so still Roll Tide though, because it's still University of Alabama.
I don't know. It's Kane Nation, baby. But, hey, as the song says, I'm born and raised in the county of
Dade. Shouts out to Trick Daddy Dollars. And shouts out to my hometown guy. It's crazy. this connection. I wish I had the music so you could hear it. My hometown guy, Murder Mill, shouts out to Murder Mill from Selma, Alabama. He made a remix of that song back in the day. Born and raised in the ALA. And man, that thing used to rock. Look at you didn't want to hear that right there, boy.
Hey, Chico, it's like to me, it's like some movies, right? Don't make a sequel because you're gonna mess it up. Yeah, that's how I look at it, dog. Don't make a sequel because you're
for his hometown. You feel me?
I get it. I get it. I totally get that.
ALA. Shouts out to the ALA.
Born and raised in the AL. I can't. It don't even roll off my tongue.
Yeah, but it was.
Oh Lord, the producer threw some tomatoes at you, man. Duck, Chico, duck. But anyway,
shouts out to Dave County.
Let's get into this, man. So, definitely, man. We just have fun. So let's get into this piece of it. The all preseason Pac-12 list comes out. All right, and I'm gonna pull it up here so we can talk about it. But before I do, because I know we'll get real deep in there. Shout out to Bishop for the $5. Thank you. Hashtag all in. Hashtag Sooners dare to go through the fire. Boomer love coach. You need $250,000 NIL. Man, look here. I need that. Let me get it. Let's talk to somebody. One of these lawyers, Morgan & Morgan, Dan Newland, whoever in your town. Tell them to holler at your boy. We could definitely make it happen. But let me pull up this list right quick. I don't know why I don't have it up because Coach over here is slacking. I got to do some push-ups or something.
All Pac-12. I see the first team offense right here.
Real quick, nine of the Colorado Buffaloes have made it. I'll let you run through that list real quick, and then I'll kind of ask some questions in regards to it.
Okay, I was looking at the actual 2023 Pac-12 list, but I think I should be able to pull up the list, or I could name them out the top of my head. Top of my head, I know it was Jimmy Horn Jr., Travis Hunter, Mark Vassett, the punter, Levante Bentley, the linebacker, Derek McClendon, defensive end from Florida State, made it. Who else is on that list? Was it Jack Bailey out of Kent State? He made it. I will have to look at the list for the rest of the guys, though. But 9 Buffs made the list, and I think it's basically based off of what the guys did last year. Like Bentley, when he stepped in for Clemson, he made some plays. He played on a high level. Same thing with Derek McClendon. Same thing with Jack Bailey at Kent State. Jimmy Horn Jr. projected to do a lot of things in that special teams and passing game. So the glaring name that I didn't see that I was thought I would at least see an honorable mention vote for was Shedeur Sanders. But with all the quarterbacks in the Pac-12, he was left off that list because of a guy like a name of Bo Nix and a couple other quarterbacks there that was probably expected to be there. But he has a chance to prove himself and show what he can do this coming season. Shouts out to everybody in the chats. Oh, now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple of guys out there, like you said, we could talk about it. Yeah, right. I'm trying to pull the list up on here, man. It's got a little tripping a little bit up in here. Let me see if I can pull this up here probably and get it going. But anyway,
yeah, I can get it up for you. And also in the chat, shouts out to LNV. And my burner account said me and Chico had a small debate in his comments earlier on the all Pac-12 team top 4 quarterbacks.
Hey, them Buffs done hacked my computer.
They done hacked your computer, man. They
kicked me off my own show, man. My goodness. But anyway, somebody said, "Where's Coach? Coach got put in cyberspace for me. I hit the transfer portal." But anyway, like I said, there's a couple of guys. I wanted to put that list.
Can you get the list, or you need me to pull it up right quick?
Yeah, you can pull it up if you like. I don't know why it's coming on, but it wouldn't trip. That somebody hacked me, man. They done hacked me, man. Y'all done hated on old Coach.
But I had it saved too. Mine going slow motion too for some reason. But the list of guys who made the preseason all Pac-12 Athlon Sports, voted on by Athlon Sports, Pac-12, PFF, and Phil Steele, was Jimmy Horn Jr., who received the first team vote at the kick return position. second team vote at kick returner, fourth team vote at wide receiver, and honorable mention at return specialist. That's Jimmy Horn Jr., of course, out of South Florida. Shouts out to USF down there. Then you got Travis Hunter, first team defensive back, voted on by Athlon Sports, Pac-12, PFF. He's also voted first team all-purpose. As we know, from the reports I've heard, there's no other type athlete in the Pac-12 like Travis Hunter. So he was also voted on honorable mention at wide receiver and second team at cornerback. Tell me who else is doing that. I'll wait. Mark Fassett, Trevor Woods, Bunch of Bentley.
So he the number one ranked player in the nation when he came out. So hey, he's supposed to.
And he's going to still improve. He's living up to it so far. You got Mark Fassett, Trevor Woods, Levante Bentley, Jack Bailey, Alton McCaskill, Derek McClendon, and Savell Smalls rounding out the 7 left on that list. So it was 9 total. And those Buffs representing right now. Shouts out to everybody in the chats once again. What'd you say about that list, Coach?
No, I ain't really got much to say. I'm gonna do this right quick just so people can see it. Shout out to Tony the Boss 199. This will be fun. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, I got it right here. Okay, so first team, I'm just bringing up the list. All right, so we see here on the very first team, this is what they have. They have the first team. I guess this is the offense. There's nobody on the first team offense, and there's nobody on the second team offense, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Nobody on the first team offense. Nope, nobody's on the second team offense. No.
Okay, so Travis Hunter shows up on first team defense as a defensive back. So
second team cornerback. Actually, they have him as second team cornerback over here as defensive back. I'm sorry, I see second team cornerback voted on by Phil Steele and first team defensive back by the other 3 voters. All right.
So on that graphic, they broke it down by the voters. And I guess it's the census or whatever the case. So I guess this is the consensus deal. This is from the Pac-12. This is from Pac12.com.
Right.
I guess you can't get more authentic than that. But as you see, I'm gonna put it up a little bit because they have our faces are covering it. But Travis Hunter right there is the DB so far as a first team defensive player. As we look at the first team specialists on here, you got Travis Hunter. I guess is all purpose on special teams as well. Who made the first team specialist as well. And then you have your honorable mentions here. And then we'll start looking at different guys. Let me see here. You got Travis Hunter again for wide receiver as an honorable mention. I'm trying to find out, is there any other guys here on honorable mention?
No, the other guys would be third team Jack Bailey, the offensive guard, and third team Alton McCaskill, the running back. And from there, you have Jimmy Horn Jr. is a fourth team wide receiver.
Right. And that's as you see at the bottom, they got the Mark Vassett, who's the punter for Colorado. And then you had the return specialist and Jimmy Horn right there. I just pulled that list. I know that graphic that's even on my thumbnail is broken down with all of the different voters. Again, I'm not getting into that. That's almost like the star ranking. Well, this person, I'm not getting into all that. It is what it is at that point. Yeah. Let me ask you this, and I brought this up. I thought that a guy like Jordan Dominic should have been on this list clearly because he had 7.5 sacks. He was the third in the SEC, somewhere around there.
Yep, third in the SEC.
Yeah, third in the SEC. And it is what it is, but he's not on the list, right? For whatever reason. He didn't even make honorable mention, third team. He didn't make any of the rankings. And I think that's bad business. Even Shador, I guess you could look at him as a quarterback and say, bro, he's not even worth the honorable mention, right?
Right. That's what I was saying. As far as Dominic goes, he had production even at Georgia Tech before going to Arkansas. He had production, but I think it's more of, if you look at who's on this list, I know the Pac-12, they known for some rushers. They got some pass rushers, especially at Washington State. And so on. So I'm sure they have some guys that has played in this conference before that they've seen before that's probably in front of him. So and then also they might not understand exactly the type of scheme that Coach Prime, Coach Kelly, and the defense is going to be coming out, and how will Jordan Dominic actually be used in this defense? Will he be as effective as he was in Arkansas or not? So that's yet to be seen. So I think they voted for other guys in front of him, same way they did with Shedeur. I think it's the same case with Shedeur Sanders. They have other guys in front of him that they've seen play in the Pac-12, so they're going to vote them first.
I agree, and about to go down this slippery slope, but let's get slippery. I mean, we have to call a spade, right? It is the SWAC versus the Pac-12 or Power 5. And so when you look at people like Caleb Williams and Michael Penix Jr., you know, those guys, as I look at quarterbacks, first and second string here on this list, again, they did it at that level. It is what it is. The other quarterback, again, Bo Nix, a 10-win season at Oregon on a first-year team. Not saying he's better, but if you have to judge something off of what the ending stats or whatever say, then hey, I guess I can totally respect that. But when I look at Jordan Dominic, he played in the Power 5 level. He played and he had a bunch of plays at the Power 5 level. So he should have definitely gotten put on this list by all stretch of the imagination, just because he was productive at an SEC program.
Exactly.
That's just how I look at it.
Yeah, I can see where they could have at least, like I said earlier, had him as honorable mention or something, recognize what he did in the SEC. Is highly recognized as the best conference out there, or at least the most competitive, or produced the most pros, whatever you want to call it. The SEC is the SEC, and he was productive there. So do you not think he's going to be productive in the Pac-12? Do you think the scheme is going to be different? Or do you think they're just better guys out there on other teams in front of him? Whatever it is, he has a chip on his shoulder now. They did put Derek McClendon in there. I guess we will have to compare their stats, or maybe they just project him to play more. On my depth chart that I made earlier in the spring, which I could tear up now, I had Derek McClendon behind Jordan Dominic, actually. So we'll see how that actually plays out when the pads come on.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Tony the podcast for the 1-9. Van Wells was a freshman All-American center last year.
He's not on this.
Yeah, he's not on this. But here's what I'll say. If it's only but so many spots, right? And you're talking about freshman All-American, I totally understand. But again, it's kind of one of those things. I don't know the Pac-12 in and out to know each and every player, like what they did and what they didn't do. Should he at least been an honorable mention? I would say so. But I'll also have to really find out where the other guys in front of him sit on that list, because I don't know what said offensive lineman has done. And one thing about offensive linemen, they don't really have stats, right? Yeah. Like they're starting to really, what they're starting to do, which I think is a good thing, they're starting to keep statistics on sacks allowed, right? Yeah, giving up sacks
allowed. And also coaches use a grading system normally on the offensive lineman. Like a guy like Jack Bailey, who's on this list, he came over from Kent State with the offensive coordinator Sean Lewis, and also the offensive line coach Bill O'Boyle. Also with the right tackle Savion Washington. Those two guys graded out the highest, which is the equivalent of I guess a QB rating, how they rate the quarterbacks. They do the same thing with the offensive lineman. And Jack Bailey.
Who's grading them?
I would think it's the coaches grading.
Oh, you're talking about from the Kent State coaches?
The Kent State staff,
yeah. I thought you were talking about like media or staff. Okay, no, I get what yeah, they're never going to take that, right? Because they're never going to work. These guys are stat guys, right? So these are all done through media. These guys, it's just like Heisman voting or whatever. They can't watch every game. They go to stats.
I wouldn't expect the media guy to go through each and every offensive play and grade that positive, negative, or stagnant, or whatever you want to call it. Sure. So, you got to leave it up to the coaches and hear what the coaches say and put out there, and probably ask about each player and what they have coming in and their projection. And so that's what you get with an offensive lineman. But Jack Bailey, coming out of high school, probably, he could have been a highly rated guy, and then goes over to Kent State, does well, he's productive there, and then he's elevating to Colorado, like a lot of these guys. I wouldn't say a lot of, but some of these guys played for multiple schools, like Jordan Dominic. He came out and then he went to Georgia Tech, played there a year, left Georgia Tech, went to Arkansas, played there a year, productive. Now you got another year left in Colorado. So, you know,
Yeah, some guy, and again, you got to remember, it's like being prom king and queen. It's a popularity contest. Who are
yeah,
people talking about a lot? And when you get the offensive line, unfortunately, their name only get called for holding penalties and false starts. And so I am glad that they are starting to track. I don't know how accurately they're doing it or if they're
quick.
making that like a consistent stat, but they are starting to keep the sacks allowed stat for offensive linemen. And I think that's a pretty good stat to keep. And it's not subjective. You know when the dude got beat or not, right? Like it's what it is.
Right,
Versus, oh, he didn't run block him well. Like you can't really make a stat on that. You know what I mean?
right.
Oh, he
Exactly.
opened up the hole for this running back. Like
But the offensive coaches can, the offensive line can. They can know exactly what you were supposed to do on this play, and then they can grade you accordingly. And that's what happens. After every game, you go into
oh,
the meeting room.
everybody gets graded. Running backs,
Everyone get
fullback.
graded.
Yeah,
Yes, everybody.
that's the in-house thing. I was saying that's the
Right.
in-house thing. But statistics are just what they are. Like right here, all the Colorado fan base, such and such ran for 1,000 yards, and this
Right.
person did that, and that person did this, because it you can quantify what they've done. For the offensive line, there's really nothing you can't
No,
put numbers.
I think that's what those ratings are now. That's what those grades are now. That's what they're becoming. They can go now and just like you see the stats of a player, you might not they don't have the grades out there, but you can go and contact a coach, or you can
Mhm.
ask a coach just like you get contacted about anything else. Hey, who was your highest graded lineman this year, or who graded out the highest on the offensive line? And I'm sure that goes for each and every school out there now. They're grading their linemen and they're making it available somehow to someone connected to the program, some liaison, some journalist, some YouTuber, whatever it is. I'm sure they're making it available to where that information can get out there. Now, Coach, I'm
Yeah.
no, we'll get to the comments in a minute. I see somebody in your comment that I was going to address, but I'm not going to give them the shine right now. This
Address
is your show. This is your show. Let's
Hey,
do
okay, this is my show. Chico, address him.
it. Did you just say
Well,
Chico Sickle? Oh,
you big dog, ain't you?
Did you send me some of this Colorado concoction over here I'm drinking?
Boy, I sent that thing airmail, man. So who you want to address? Talk to me. Let's get
No,
messy, I guess.
shout out to your boy Off Script. I'm surprised to see him in here, but
Okay,
I'm not
I'll-
surprised
what
to
he-
see. I'm not surprised to see this type of comment he left, and I'm sure he's yelling like Funkmaster Flex somewhere right now and trying to drop a
Scotty,
bomb.
what's up with you, man? Hold on. Duck in the
Scotty
media.
too
Let me
hot.
read it. Let me read it. Duck in the media.
I'll read it for you in his voice. Duck in the media is a different world. Answers questions from Denver Post. No, not this question. They got to go back some.
Oh, my
Not
bad.
that one.
I'm sorry.
And I don't even know what he said right there. What did he say? It's a different world answering questions from. Don't
Oh, I
care
don't know.
what
My
no
bad.
one
I'm trying
says.
to look.
Dion is ducking Pac-12 Media Day. Man, how
God dang, Scotty. You
Come
my
on.
dog, bro, but
You feel
some
me?
stuff you just gotta leave alone, bro.
It's Troll City, man. Or either you're dumb as a sack of rocks. Come on, man. I've seen better hands on the clock. Come on, my dog. You using your Twitter fingers for this? Come on, man.
Oh wow.
How you
Listen,
gonna say this man ducking Pac-12 Media Day, man, when he just showed you his toes and he's having surgery. You think somebody gonna volunteer to go have surgery? You think somebody gonna volunteer to lose their toes? Some people can't even lose a toenail and they'll be crying. And he lost 2 toes, and you sitting up here got the nerve to hate. It won't come up out of you if it ain't up in you. You feel what I'm saying?
Scotty, listen.
Come
You
on,
know,
dog.
I don't one thing about me. Hold
Face
on, can I
ass.
tell you something? Hey, can I tell you something? Hold on. Listen,
Scotty right there. Scotty too hot, eh?
I can tell you this, and y'all know I don't care 2 ways from Sunday. If I feel it's right, I'll say it. If I don't, but some things I just ain't gonna touch. I can't say the man
You
ducking.
ain't gonna talk about my dog, man. You ain't
Yeah, I
talking about
wouldn't.
my dog.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the man. I put it. I wouldn't.
On no disrespectful tip. Scotty too hotty.
Now I would say this.
You, man.
If that's the case, here's why I would say ducking. If they don't send anybody, then that's different. but he's sending representation, dog. So
Right.
I'm
What are you
cool with
talking
that.
about
Yeah,
ducking?
Scotty. Woo.
Come on, man. That's Troll City right there. That's all it is.
I
Racing, holleration.
love it.
You don't need none of that up in this dancery. You feel me?
Scotty, I ain't putting your comment up there. See, some stuff I just ain't gonna
What do you
touch.
say? Don't care. You know what? No, what do you say? What other
No,
comment do you say? I'll read it.
no. This man say, Scotty, see, his toes been cripping since last summer, but now he got to go get toe surgery. See, Scotty, hold on, I don't have no gunshot, but I got a slap button, Scotty. God dog it, Scotty. Anyway, let's get this thing rocking. Let me get into this deal.
That's your 15 seconds of fame, man. I go somewhere and hide in a corner and read a book and have a Coke and a smile. Go ahead.
Somebody said, what kind of poll is Daryl? This
Go
the kind of
yell at
poll.
yourself.
Hey, this is the kind of poll I want to see where the Miami Hurricane fans at. And right now, y'all ain't showing up. That's what kind of thing this is, Daryl Page.
Is it still
Anyway,
60% Colorado?
it's 62 to 38 right now. Colorado up 62% to 38%.
You scared? Them Colorado fans ain't playing no
And again,
game.
a Miami Hurricane fan is the one. Shout out to Susie Pink. Told me to put this poll up, and I thought it was cool. It's entertainment, no pressure. Anyway, let's skip this deal, man. We already been on here 30 minutes, man. But you know me, I'm a podcast king, but I do an 8-hour podcast, Chico.
I saw you do a 4-hour one the other day.
That's light work, but that's just warming up. Hey, we do the YouTube takeover for 8 hours. 8 hours straight.
I like
I would
that.
go long, but I would go longer, but they don't allow you to do over 8 hours. So
Damn.
I would go 8 hours. But anyway, okay, let's get into this part. Somebody said fake poll. That dog will eat
fake poll. Did you vote or did you not vote?
It's for entertainment, dog. Golly. It would be great if they did get into a bowl game. Like I'm saying, both teams got into a bowl and had to play each other. I think that'd be cool, but it's not gonna happen like that. But anyway, let's make it happen. Scheme. This is something that has. There goes Susie Pink. Look, she threw to you. I just want to make sure, Susie Pink. I'm letting you know I'm getting my head knocked off because of you. But anyway, that's all good. But anyway, let's talk scheme a little bit, right? Let's talk some football. I'm tired of.
Let's talk some stuff that boy Scott A. Too hot A can't talk. All he could do is yell. Go ahead, coach. I'm sorry about that. Let's go. No more.
Sound like y'all got some beef. I'm just saying, son. You know, I do a show where we do it like a debate show. Well, we could definitely have debates about this kind of.
He definitely don't want to debate. He want to yell back and forth. But he definitely don't want. But this is not about that.
Shots fired.
Yeah, he don't. Nah. Go ahead, coach. What question you got, coach?
Okay, so we talk about scheme, right? I saw you just posted a video not long ago. You were kind of looking at the offense there, I think, from the spring game. I didn't get a chance to really look at it much because I was trying to get ready for this show. But I did break down the offensive scheme from the spring. Now, of course, the Colorado fans, as I call them, Coach, that's not the same team. So I get it. I understand. But I was just, golly, guys, it's content. God.
They even got on me for the video I posted today.
That's what I'm saying.
You breaking down film from the spring. That's the latest film they have. No, it's not all the same players, but the offensive line is practically the same. Everybody on the offensive line is back and there. Shador is there. The wide receivers are there. That's what we were looking at. You understand? So
yeah.
I mean, whatever they talking about, you know what I'm saying? Hey, check out the film. You'll see it.
So right. So I broke that down just from a schematic standpoint. I wasn't looking at particular players, right? I was looking at it from a schematic standpoint, throwing the ball. And of course, I know in the spring we don't show everything, yada, yada, yada. So what do you think? And we're all speculating here because I don't care if y'all make a Colorado video 10 times a day or you make once a week or you don't make any of it. Nobody truly knows unless you're in the building.
All right.
So I'm saying that to say to everybody, this is all speculation. What do you speculate they will be doing offensive? Like, how do you think it'll be running? Because everybody want me to go back to the Georgia Kent State video, coach.
Well, what I expect is the question. What I expect to see scheme wise is 4 5 wide receivers more than not. If we use a tight end, it's mostly going to be, might as well bring in 2 tight end set. It's going to look like a run. But mainly it's going to be 4 wide receivers, 3 wide receiver set, quarterback or running back right next to the quarterback or behind the quarterback. They brought over Pat Sherman, former NFL quarterback or offensive coordinator and head coach. His offensive scheme uses those wide receivers, wide splits, and they use a lot of motion coming from outside in, inside out to identify whether the defense is in pass or man defense or zone coverage defense. I'm reading these comments at the same time. Let me get them out of my way.
You waste your time with that.
Right. Yeah. I'm wasting my time reading this junk. Zone defenses or man defense, it kind of tips off what the defense is doing by using that motion from the wide receiver position. So I see a lot of quick reads from, yes, it's all speculation, but based off of, the offenses and what we've seen, it's going to be a lot of quick reads. There's going to be a lot of RPO action. Shador faking it to the running back, reading the linebackers. They come up, he dink and dunk right behind them. They stay back, he hand the ball off to a bruising back like Alton McCaskill, who I would say I would compare him to like a Le'Veon Bell. Patient out of the backfield, nice agility. Once he hits the hole, he can get upfield. Big, tall back, over 6'1". So then you got scat backs and faster guys like Dylan Edwards back there. They can get the ball too. Cavassier Smoke from Kentucky, who's like a bell cow.
That's the best name ever, dog, for a football player. I don't care what nobody.
Smoke. Shouts out to his mom.
I thought Ty Law was a great name. Like Ty Law, Eric Bieniemy, that kind of, but hey, Cavassier Smoke. Like I said, I don't know what his parents was doing when they gave him the name. Maybe the old girl was on the Vassier and the old boy used to hit Sweet Chiba or vice versa. But the name of your child, Cavassier Smoke.
And the last name is Smoke. That's, hey, I feel you on that. K Smoke.
What if they would have named the first name would have been Alder?
Alder Smoke. He's good. Snoop Dogg favorite player right there.
Oh yeah, Alder. First name Alder. Hey, that's like the dude named the Coldest Crawford. The Coldest.
Oh, the Coldest. The Coldest. I like that name. Kool-Aid. What's the guy? Is it Kool-Aid?
Yeah, but those are nicknames. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Okay. But the Coldest Crawford is a real name.
Straight up.
Yeah. But anyway, so you brought this up, and I think that's pretty generic in the sense of, guys stay back, we run it. If they come up, we throw it. We know that part. I want to kind of just speculate as we use the word, you have to use the word allegedly and speculate. I would love to speculate. What type of runs are we going to see here? Is it going to be some gap scheme stuff? Are we seeing pulling guys? Is it strictly inside, outside zone? How creative does the running game get? Because, yes, I understand that when you look at the spring game, it's vanilla, like Tony said. But when I go back to people that don't believe, I watched the Kent State game against Georgia, and they were doing the Anita Baker, giving them the best they got. The running game wasn't necessarily, I have to say, the running game wasn't all that creative.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily a negative thing. There are some guys who simply use inside zone, outside zone as a counter to what they do through the RPO game. So before y'all have, we're going to be creative.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's going to be. A lot of inside and outside zone. A lot of what I've seen and noticed, and sources might say that those tackles will be pulling some. Unlike a lot of other schemes, the tackles will be pulling, coming around. They'll have a lot of misdirection going on. A lot of RPO, like I said, handoffs to where it keeps the defense on their heels. That way you can get the running game going. If the defense is on the heels trying to defend the pass with the quarterback like Shedeur Sanders, then the running game can get going, especially with a big bruising back like they've brought in. At the same time, I think the coaching staff have identified and known that, hey, we haven't focused and put enough emphasis on the run game in the past. We're going to focus that and make sure we do that to be able to take off some pressure from Shedeur Sanders. We're going to make sure we do that. We're going to make sure we do that. That's why they brought in, and you see them bring in those type of running backs that they did bring in. They flipped a guy like Dylan Edwards, fastest guy on the team, as you can see. He was headed to Notre Dame. He stays in pocket right there and goes to Colorado with Coach Prime. I think they're going to have a more than balanced running and passing attack than a lot of people think. I think they're gonna the it's gonna you're gonna need that running game um, to also help the passing game and vice versa. You know, so I think it's going to work interchangeably, but it's going to be based off what the defense does. And with this offense, technically the defense can't be right. If you run it to a T and you're reading after the ball is snapped, then technically the defense can't be right. That's why I sent you that clip from the first play, or
Yeah,
actually told you about the other play too from
yeah,
Colorado game. So
yeah, and again, we'll look at that if you want. We could throw that on the screen too. Hopefully, I don't have no Colorado IT guys up in here. Coach, you're hating. You know I'm gonna keep riding with this thing. You know that, right? Because y'all done made Coach get a whole new shirt. But anyway, um, and like I say, I appreciate we just having this conversation and see creating dialogue and
yeah,
conversation and back and
yeah.
forth. So that's what I'm looking at. So again, when we talk about running game, um, because people say I never bring up the running back. So let's talk about McCaskill. What is his skill set? What does he bring? I went and looked at his highlight tape when he was at Houston, his freshman. He did not play last year due to injury. I believe he hurt his knee or
Mhm.
ACL, something to that effect. So he did not play last year. Um, but he was a strong back as a true freshman. I have to say. I mean, he played at Houston. They were talking about him wanting to stay close to home. I guess he's a Texas. I think he went to Oak Ridge High School. There's a player I just did a WRE on a player from Oak Ridge. From I think that's Conroe, Texas. If I'm not mistaken, I get so many of them guys, but I
Mhm.
just did a player from Oak Ridge. I used to coach at a school called Oak Ridge, so I remember that. But anyhow, I know that's probably a pretty good school in Texas. What is his skill set? What does he look like? What does he bring to the table? Because I know he was just shy of 1,000, like 960 yards or something. They had like 250 passing or receiving rather.
Yeah.
Um, so what's his deal? What is his skill set?
Well, he's exactly like what I told you about. I would say I would compare him to like a Le'Veon Bell type running back. So he got that size, got the agility. Had over 960 some yards when he did play at Houston before he got hurt. 16 total touchdowns running and receiving. Like I said, big, strong back. I think he'll be the bell cow number one back as long as he's healthy coming off that knee injury. 6'1", 215 pounds. Um, I think he's that guy that they're looking for that can be a power back, but also can break long runs, can make guys miss. He averaged 5.1 yards per carries, posted
Mhm.
100-yard games, and he scored at least one touchdown in 10 of the games that he played in. So he puts up numbers, highly productive. So that's why a lot of people have him listed as the number one back going into the fall camp. Like I said, as long as he's healthy, though. What you smiling at, man? Shador is like Joe Montana, Cam Newton mixed. It's amazing.
I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm trying to smile. I'm just like,
Hey, man, people gotta have their opinions. You know,
well,
I
I'm
got
glad.
blasted because I put down. I said I liken him to, and I just said basically off styles and what he looks like, not projection. I said
Mhm,
Aaron Brooks, who used to play with the Saints, just because
mhm.
he looks like him a little bit, but I think he could be a better passer. I think he has a better head on his shoulders. I think he has a higher ceiling than Aaron Brooks did. You know, so that's what I'm thinking. I think he can end up in a good situation once he go pro. Shador Sanders.
No, definitely. Like I said, I definitely think the young man can play. Again, I know that there are some curves that are going to come with this new endeavor, and that's okay. He'll get better with
Yeah,
time.
of course there'll be curves, of course,
Yeah,
but I think he's built for it.
sure. No,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I have no dispute whatsoever. Now, I think it is a little stretch to say that a guy coming in right now, you saying he's Joe Montana and what you call it mix. Now, come on. I mean, guys,
Well,
I
they said what I can see what they're talking about. They're not saying he's great like Joe Montana or he's an MVP like Cam Newton right now. Just like I said about Aaron Brooks, the way they're looking, that person there is saying that probably because of the passing smoothness of Joe Montana, the capabilities of a Joe Montana. Then he has also some running ability of a Cam Newton. No, he's not as big as strong as Cam Newton, but he can make some guys miss. He can score. Um, he can use his legs to score and make first downs and keep the chains moving, of course, more than what a lot of people give him credit for. So I can see what this guy talking about, Roger Dodger. No, he's not a Joe Montana or Cam Newton right now. He got a lot of football to play, but I can see the similarities right there.
Okay. I don't. Again, part of Cam Newton's running ability was due to his size. See, like I said I wasn't going to do this, Chico, but there's some things I just can't. I can't. If you're going to make a comparison about a guy has running ability, I'm cool with that. But when you make a comparison of a Cam Newton, I'm not saying he can't run, but part of what Cam Newton's ability or the what was it? Not exciting. What helped him in his running was his size.
Yeah.
Was his right? So what I'm saying, that to me, that's an apples and oranges comparison. If you want to pull a guy, if I had to look at a guy, I would say he has the ability to run. I would give him more like a, but again, they want to look in the NFL, but I would give him more of a Bryce Young type deal. I would say he's a guy that can definitely get out the pocket, can extend the play, right? But that's not the same as saying Cam Newton. Like you get where I'm coming? Like that to me, that's more of a comparison because I've seen Cam Newton pull out some gangsters, boy, like pull out.
That's exactly what I just said. You'll see Cam Newton though. I said the comparison is what they're saying. He's not Joe Montana passing either. He's not Cam Newton. Cam was so physically imposing that some people didn't want to tackle him. Yeah, he has speed. Cam can run between the tackles. Also, you're not going to really see Shedeur Sanders run between the tackles unless he's right behind, inside the 1 yard line, just pushing forward. He can extend the plays. Like I said, he can get those first downs. He can keep the chains moving, aka extend the plays. I said exactly what you just said.
No, you're correct. But I was trying to tell Roger Dodger that if you're going to make comparisons, the comparisons do have to be an apples to apples.
Yeah,
comparison.
he went a little bit extreme. He could have said somebody lower on the total pole than a Cam Newton or Joe Montana, but I can see what he's saying.
Yeah, but it doesn't. And like I say, it's not a lower. It's a more accurate compare. Like you said, when you look at Cam Newton was out there running QB powers, QB counters.
That's what I'm saying. Up between the tackles.
Yeah,
but he should really do that.
Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm disagreeing with Roger Dodger to say that's not a fair comparison, Roger Dodger. Like, yeah, this is where fandom comes in, and this doesn't make Shedeur bad. What I'm saying is compare the kid properly. That's just like saying my muscle I look like The Rock Johnson around here because I got two shoulders and a belly button. No, I don't look like The Rock, dog.
The Rock is the extreme. You might not look like The Rock, but what they're saying is
I might look like Jamarcus Russell after he got out the league. That's a better comparison. Like that's all I'm trying to say. It's like, come on, guy, keep it in the lane. Keep it in the lane. That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna give Surfer Boy some shine. He said Bigg Dogg had a whole show on Dion's new shoes. That's the type of guy we're dealing with right here. I can't make a show. I can't make a show on his shoes. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I can make a show on whatever I want to make a show on. Secondly, it's related.
It's your show. Hold on, I got to do your point. John Liquidator told me it's my show. You don't tell me what to do. It's my show. And I'll talk about other people on my record, but that actually happened. People can actually see that. And I know, John, it was all in fun. I was having fun too, but I just thought it was fun. Maybe he'll bring that up on his show later. I don't know. But anyway, let's push on past Roger Dodger. I appreciate Roger Dodger always in the building.
I got to know what DDR stand for. South Crack 24. What DDR stand for? What your face at? What does that stand for?
Big Chico equal D. I don't know what DDR stands for. I have no idea. And I don't remember seeing the South Crack. But anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's go on. Let's push back because I know that's a sensitive topic with people when it comes to Shedeur, and that's not what I was saying. But anyway, to the back to the running game. So you bring in, like I said, a McCaskill, a guy that's shifty, not a little dude, right? 6'1", I guess you say. I don't know what his weight is. What is he weight?
Yeah, 6'1", about 215. Yep.
Yeah, dog. That's great size right there now.
Yeah.
And he's coming. He has 3 years, including this year. So this year he has 3 years of playing left.
Exactly.
All right, so that's good. That's a good deal right there. And like I said, hopefully, the young man is healthy. They got him taken care of properly. He needed that whole year of rest, which is great, man. When you deal with knees, bro, especially at the running back position, it ain't just forward. Your legs just don't bend up and down. It's side to side, left and right. People don't realize you could tear what is an ACL and still run fast straight. You just can't
Exactly.
cut. It'll
Right.
give out on you.
And that's
So
why I said, hopefully he's comfortable with that because a lot of that is mental also. So hopefully he's comfortable with that. That leg is or that knee is 100%, and he can make those agility type moves sideline to sideline and be 100% healthy and get back to his old self.
we've seen running backs do that, right? Or we've seen ball carriers. I've seen Derek King when he had his knee hurt. He's kind of like you don't want to test it because you don't. It's just subconscious, right?
Yeah.
Pain is universal, dog. I don't
Yep.
care if rich, poor, black, ugly, pretty, Instagram model, whatever. Ouch is ouch. So you don't want that pressure anymore, and so you kind of like, and when it comes to that. But anyhow, let's push on. Any other running backs besides Cavassier Smoke and Dylan Edwards?
Yeah, Cavassier Smoke. I think he has 1 year left. Dylan Edwards is the freshman. Then you got the holdover guy, Anthony Hankerson. He has 3 years left. Also, he had some production last year with that 111 team. So what you got? Charlie Offerdale, the walk on. So am I missing someone? I think I'm missing someone. You got Smoke McCaskill, Dylan Edwards. And my guy out of Jackson State, Savion Wilkerson, he rushed for over 1,100 yards last year at Jackson State. Came from Delaware State. I call him the road warrior. He's from Chicago, Illinois. The battering ram. He got a lot of highlights where he's breaking tackles and continuing, to run downfield for a touchdown. Low to the ground type guy, about 5'11", around 205, hard to tackle. Good in the passing game and blocking game. Smart kid. Good character. I think he has maybe 2 years left. I will have to check in on that for sure, but he should be fighting for that maybe starter position or number 2 position at least. So I think Savion, you'll see him get some carries this year. I think it's going to be at least a 3-headed monster this year. Savion Wilkerson, McCaskill, and you'll see Smoke. And then also Dylan Edwards will have to get some touches. So, bunch of guys rolling through their running back room.
All right, Lawrence RBE for the 499. I'm sorry, I think I missed it, man, and I apologize. I don't know how I missed it. But it says, when will we know if CU has NIL rolling? Assad's dad mentioned how it's game over if CU gets it together. Shador is a real deal, hence I have 8 and 4. So real quick, Assad Hassan, as we were talking about, his father. I meant Wasim Hassan Hassan.
Yeah,
the reason I said Hassan, excuse me, because somebody said Coach Hayes hates CU because he tried to talk Hassan out of going to Colorado. But it's Assad Wasim. But anyhow, and he was talking about NIL and how important it would be if they get that thing really rolling and, with all of that stuff. Real quick, what's your response to that?
When they get the NIL really rolling, as far as like the committee, the booster club in-house, or do they?
Yeah, I guess these collectives or whatever they got to do to make it roll.
The collectives, think I would be sure that they're getting. If not, they already have it together. I'll be sure they'll be getting that together, make sure they have everything properly in place. I would think like Alabama or Auburn has, or any other big school, they have these big collectives that put money in a pot for whatever reason they want to use it for, recruiting, coaches' salaries, whatever. I think that's what they might be talking about. But as far as individually, a lot of players are racking up on deals, whether it's energy drinks, local dealerships with car dealerships, food places around Boulder and Denver, all type of stuff. I think I see that these guys are cashing in with apparel deals and so on. So, yeah, I think it's wild.
I said this to his daddy now, and we all know Colorado allow you to hit the sweet Chiba, the ooh-wee, that purple haze.
I brought that.
I'm just saying. They let you hit that. Oh, my God. They let you hit all that stuff. So my question to you is, and I'm just asking, I don't know how Coach Prime feels about it. I'm only assuming that he probably doesn't agree with it because I know his religious beliefs and so forth and so on. But, and we know that's mega millions right there. What if these dispensaries start getting into this stuff?
Like giving guys deals or NIL deals or something like that? Or just like getting behind?
I don't think it's legal because not legal right now because I don't think they can have any alcohol, tobacco, or firearm deal like ATF deals. They're not allowed to do that, if I'm not mistaken. They're not allowed to like endorse anything like that. But what I was just thinking about is, and I guess it being legal. People hate to say it, but because it's legal there within the state, right? I don't know. I'm just creating conversation. What are your thoughts?
Well,
y'all get that, boy.
Yeah, my thoughts is that I'm sure Coach
Who's coaching the game like this?
No, I'm sure. Coach Prime is one of those guys who never drank, never smoked, and he's confessed that and said that many times. Secondly, though, at the same time, just like I heard him talk about Andre Rison, he said, and he's acknowledged that, hey man, I've seen guys do some everything, dog, and go out there and perform. I've seen them go out there and do whatever before the game, go perform. Only thing I could do is try to get them to not do it. Now, with players coming in, recruits coming in, they're not pros, they're players and recruits. I'm sure he would want. I think that would be part of the character also. I'm sure he would want his guys to come in, as non-smokers. You know what I'm saying? So guys who are not past smokers or whatever, because the habit gonna come with you no matter where you go, and especially if you go to a legal state.
Because I didn't want to be the guy to say this, but if Colorado fans don't believe some of them kids are smoking weed, then they are truly out their mind. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying if you don't think that there are some weed smokers on that team.
Oh, you talking about just on the team? Listen,
yeah, I'm talking about on the team. I ain't talking about this
on any team or collective in this world.
Yes, sir. You're 100%
talking about a team of cat feeders.
Correct.
I don't care if you're talking about the team of whatever.
Correct.
You're gonna have somebody in there. I remember going to Florida State to play. We played at Florida State. This was my freshman year right here, and I haven't told these stories yet. But
here we go.
Okay, let's see.
That's at every school, though.
It is at every school.
Yeah. We know that. Stop it, guys. God, dog. As soon as you say one thing, but that's at every school. We know that. I'm just saying that there are a lot of fans. Chico, there are a lot of fans that believe. Yeah, but Chico, there are a lot of fans that believe because Coach Prime doesn't do it, none of the players will do it. I just was making an observation. God, dog. Gotta keep it real. Dumper Sports Talk. I saw you in the chat the other day too. Don't think I forgot that name, boy. Remember like an elephant, homeboy. But anyway, go ahead, Chico. Explain your point.
I was just going to say, I remember playing one of my first games in college football, and we went and played at Florida State, and we went down there and played. And as soon as we get off the bus, I noticed, a group of guys going this way, bam, and a group of guys going this way. I'm like, man, where them guys going? And some of those guys who went over here, were some of the best players on the team. So I'm like, well, such and such and such and such going, and the quarterback going. Where they going? Oh, them the smokers over there. Oh, well, damn, that's a whole bunch of smokers over there. That's half the goddamn old team.
I know, but see, here we go. We're going down this road, and I wasn't going to acknowledge, but this is the kind of stuff that I be saying, bro. Like, nothing you can say. I'm not saying that other teams don't have this. I was just making a point to say that a lot of people may think that, hey, these guys don't. They do, and that's okay. And I brought it up because we talked about the industry with these dispensaries in the state of Colorado. Like, God dang, like y'all.
But
like
if you're not a smoker, you're not a smoker. You know what I'm saying? If
right.
You're not a smoker, you're not going to come to Denver and then begin smoking on Coach Prime's watch. No, dog. Now, if you come from a smoking background and you already know how to maneuver and move, and now you're coming to a legal state, you feel me? I'm sure Coach Prime is going to not condone it, but if you are producing, you're going to class, doing everything you got to do, and you doing this, and I don't know you doing it, just make sure I don't know you doing it. You know what I'm saying? But one thing you don't have to worry about is, like in other states, especially down south, you don't have to worry about these guys getting pulled over now, and they smelling weed or finding little bitty baggies of weed and taking them to jail and making a big deal over it. Like I've seen countless of Alabama, Auburn, UAB, Alabama, meaning the state players, get messed up over some weed, and I'm talking about, like they call it, some pot, some sticks, stems, baggies, seeds, whatever. They'll get messed up over, especially at a in a state like Alabama.
Yeah,
So
Club Shay. Them boys at the U, them boys probably growing it.
I already know they. Yeah,
So doggone, like y'all, like
I went on a visit at a school one time.
you ain't
And
got to say. I already listen, bro. I done been a lot of college campus, my man. I'm talking about the campus, boy. Hey, they used to talk about Percy Harvin, and I'm only speculating.
oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Percy. Oh,
They say Percy used to walk
shouts
through
out
the
to my
middle of
dog Percy.
campus like this.
Shouts out to my
Hey,
dog Percy. I ain't gonna call too many more names. But shout out to my dog Marshawn Lynch too. You know what I'm talking
hey,
about?
that boy had one behind his ear like this. That boy had him a spliff behind his ear going to class, boy. But anyway, we just having a good time. But anyway, let's push on because I'm not worried about all that stuff.
Yeah.
So to end that, yes, all of them do. Yes. So as we go to the next point here, receivers seem to be the room that has the most depth. I see as I look at it. I looked at a month-old depth chart, and it was 15 guys on there.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that being said, I got callers already in the call. Hold on in the back there, but we'll get to you here when we get to that segment. If you like to hold on, you call back.
Cool.
But anyway, it appeared to be that chart showed 15 guys. And I do think that is the strong suit, right? That's your spade suit. If we want to make an analogy to a spades game, those are your trump cards right there. I totally believe that. When it comes to that, you got guys like Horn and Weaver that definitely have experience. I keep hearing about this young freshman. I forget his name. I think his dad is on the staff. I'm sorry.
Oh, his dad's on the staff. Oh, you talking about Caleb Mathis then? Caleb Mathis.
Okay, Caleb Mathis. And so far, there's a couple of guys, like I say. When we talk scheme, and we know we talk about quick passes, this, that, and the third, what does that look like? What do you think that looks like? Do you think it's some – of course, we know that you can throw any route in the route tree, but we're talking about the nuclear or the foundation of the philosophy. Is it quick hitters, let my athletes make plays? Is it I got to put it on to Shedeur, or do I have to say, hey, get the ball in his hand and let him go be the ball player? How does that work, do you think?
Well, I think the offense is set up to have a quarterback who's like an extension of the coach on the field, a quick decision maker, and because that's what quarterbacking is you're making these decisions, you're reading the defense, and you're reacting, and you're not trying to force anything or dictate. You're pretty much reacting, taking what the defense is giving you, and they can do this all day in this defense with the way it's set up with the widespread wide receivers and the running back right there next to the quarterback, to where if you have a competent quarterback who can make these quick reads, who's on the level like Shedeur Sanders is, who we all think he is, then the defense, more times than not, is going to be in a position where they're going to be on their heel. They're going to be blitzing. They're going to get caught in the blitz. Shadeur's going to be able to make that read. The ball is designed to come out like this in this offense. 2 seconds, 3 seconds. There's not no drop backs, 5-7 step drop offense, so to speak. This is a get the ball out fast and quick. And if you're going downfield, you got guys who can get downfield in a hurry with Jimmy Horn Jr., Javon Antonio, a big receiver, 6'4", 220 pounds at wide receiver. Then you got Weaver on the outside, 6'1" out of South Florida. He was the most productive receiver, more than Jimmy Horn last year. And he's going to be on that outside with Jimmy Horn in the slot. Travis Hunter can play inside or outside. A bunch of freshmen coming in who can really play. Shedeur Sanders is very high on freshman Omarion Miller out of Louisiana, 6'2", 200-pound freshman. Same thing with Adam Hopkins out of Atlanta, 6 feet, 195-pound All-American last year. He's at wide receiver. You got transfer from Auburn, Travaris Dawson, who had a chance to go to Cincinnati. A bunch of talent on the field. That's at the wide receiver position. Big guys, smaller guys, shifty guys, inside, outside. They have everything probably that you would want at the wide receiver position at Colorado at the disposal of Shedeur Sanders. So he's upped his targets that he can throw. So just look for, I think, more production from Shedeur and a lot of explosive plays from the wide receiver.
No, I agree. I think that I have to be very honest. I think that it could be multiple. I think it could be based on the situation. It could be based on if it's a blitzing down, right?
Yeah.
If you know that you're going to face a blitz heavy team, then guess what? You got to get it out your hand quickly. Don't put the pressure on the front 5+6, meaning that running back to try to hold up when your trump card are the dudes on the perimeter, right? And that's just coaching one-on-one, right?
Yeah.
I always tell people football is very simple. And I'll just say this to you quick, Chico. We're going through a thunderstorm here, so if it clicks out, you got to take over, man. But because we the lightning capital of the world around here, but I mean lights go out every 10 seconds. But anyhow, I will say this: that's coaching one-on-one, and I've always said the philosophy of football is very simple. The offense job is to go where the defense is not, and the defense job is to go where the offense is. So that's just football one-on-one. And so I say that it all depends on the opponent. It all depends on what the scouting chart looks like, what the scouting report looks like. If they are blitz heavy guys up the middle, then guess what? You may want to hit them right behind their head if you can hold up and hit the digs. We throw in the vacancies. If these guys like to bring the America's blitz, where they bring the two off the edge and drop the end to the backside, then you may want to bubble screen them out there to death. And I bring that point up to say this really quickly. How does the screen game look when it comes to, because I think, this is just my personal opinion, I think from a defensive side, because I'm a defensive guy, pressure bust pipes. And I believe you're going to get a lot of 6, 7, and maybe you might get an 8-man pressure if they can steal it. If they can steal one, if they find out your guy likes to stay in, you might get one of those too, depending on the formation. What does the screen game look like?
Pressure. I wish they would 8-man pressure Shedeur Sanders and see what happens. And as far as the screen game, that's going to be a part of this offense, getting the ball out quick, throwing the ball laterally and vertically. And you have the weapons to really run the ball and get yards after the catch in the screen game, bubble screen, tunnel screen, whatever type of screen you're trying to run with the Jimmy Horn Jr., with the fast Willie Gaines, with Dawson, with Travis Hunter. They're all basically built for the screen game and catching the ball quickly and then making guys miss in space. And that's what this offense is. You want to get these athletes the ball in space and say, good luck. We playing football now. Now we in backyard football. Tackle these guys in space. And, we moving fast. We're going fast. As soon as that play is over, we back to the line of scrimmage. Within 7 seconds, we're trying to run the play. 7, 10 seconds, we're trying to run the play.
God dang, 7 to 10. Y'all boy.
7 to 10 seconds, they're trying to run the play. 15 seconds at the most. At the most, they trying to run these plays.
Bro, and I think that's what Tennessee averaged last year was 15. You finna cut that in half? Yeah.
They're looking to run 100 to 150 plays per game. 150 is a whole bunch of plays. But I've heard Coach Lewis say they're looking to run 100 to 150.
Listen, Chip Kelly used to crank 120 at Oregon. And you talk about 150. That's going to lead me into the defense, but I do got to talk about the big bodies, the big hogs in the middle. But before I do that, I want to say this.
It's crazy, Roger Dodger. Yeah, it is. But I'm telling you you heard what the man said. I'm telling you what the man said, Coach.
I want to say.
I looked at it, or when I heard it, I said, "Dang, that's a high number." So I went and I kind of like, wait, is that very high?
150, bro. The average is
crazy. Are they looking to score any of these times? But I see what he's trying to do. They want to stay on the field. They want to continue to run these plays, get downfield, whether they're dinking and dunking downfield. You see what I'm saying? These little 3-yard, you're going to see Shedeur Sanders. I'm telling you. You're going to see him getting a snap and boom, ball is out quickly.
I'm cool with that.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's a great strategy, but I'm gonna come back and ask some questions. But I must stop the show for 5 seconds to this young lady right here, Tanisha Barton. I want to say thank you, Tanisha. I do want to say thank you. I've seen you in other chats, and all I'm gonna do is just say thank you. I don't have to tell you for what, but I do appreciate you. I want you to make sure you knew that, and I'll move on. But I do want to say thank you, Tanisha. If I'm saying Tanisha Barton. Thank you so much. And you know why, and I know why. That's all that matters. Everybody else don't need to know our business. But anyway, let me put this into the line. Okay.
He said, "That's my girl. She fine." Y'all crazy in the chats, man.
I just see an avatar. She speaks well. That's how I put it that way. That's all I know about her. But anyway, let me go into this piece. The trenches. We can't leave that out. We're going through all this. We're talking ball. and I want to kind of speed this up because I do want to open up the phone line.
Mm-hmm.
So within the trenches, right? We talk about this. We talk about spitting the ball out, this, that, and the third, zone blocking, so forth. We know that the Denver Broncos of all really kind of made that zone blocking famous with Terrell Davis,
And
right?
Clinton Portis and all of them. Yep.
And Portis and those guys, but it really popped off when they kind of came out with that deal,
Mm-hmm.
and so forth. Here's what I'll say. I know this: defensive guys are very athletic now. All right, defensive guys are super athletic. We're seeing interior defensive linemen running 4.7s, 4.8s, bro. We just saw Nolan Smith from Georgia run a 4.39. I mean, the speed. There's no more Gilbert Browns in the game. If you guys going back, Gilbert Brown came in on first down for the Green Bay Packers. He had to get. They actually had to. I'm just making fun here because I don't want to get
in his jersey.
Yeah, they had okay, thank you. I didn't even say it. They had to extend his jersey because his belly was so big. But he was known as the run stopper. Come in on first down, he come out. First down again, he come in. But those days are done. There's no more third down backs because first down is just like third down now, right? I mean, you got people out here throwing the ball, like you say, 150 times a game. 150 plays, rather. But out of those 150 plays, bro, let's be honest. Let's just say if you 50-50 that deal, you talking about 90 passing plays? Woo. But anyhow, the trenches.
Yep.
I brought this up on your show. I brought this up before. Coach considered a hater, and I get it. I'm cool with that. The two guys who I appreciate you articulating that they won awards for like freshman All-American, Pac-12 American, I believe, Pac-12 All-American. Yep. Couldn't get it out, and so forth. Would you agree or disagree that line may not be sufficient, if that's the right way to say? I'm just asking, I'm posing the question, agree or disagree. And when I say that, as I look at the position groups here, I'm looking at the receiver group here, who you bringing in. I looked at the running back room, who you bringing in. I'm looking at the quarterback who you have in Shedeur Sanders, who you brought. And then I look at the offensive line. I would say it's not star-studded names like you look in the other line. You look at Jimmy Horn, you look at Weaver, you look at McCaskill, you look at Cavassier Smoke, you look at these guys, and then you go to the offensive line. That's the only reason I'm bringing that up. It's not star-studded, I guess, of the right way.
It's not a sexy offensive line, and that's a good thing. They're not looking for a sexy offensive line. They got a big, no-nonsense offensive line coach, like most good offensive line coaches are. No nonsense, and that's Coach Bill O'Boy, former head coach, also at other schools, for offensive coordinator Kent State last 3, 4, 5 years, I think, with Sean Lewis. He knows what he's looking for. He brought a bunch of guys from Midwestern of the United States, from like Iowa, what is it, Wyoming and Kansas and so on. All these Midwestern states, road graders, big buffaloes as he called them, not sexy guys, but guys who played at their former schools. Give you an example: Big Landon Beebe, a guy who could play inside as center and guard, played at Missouri State, was a captain, 2-time captain there, all-conference guy there. You see him in the well-off videos, one of the strongest guys on the team, lifting the whole warehouse. Smart, heady guy. He's going to be a factor on that offensive line, pushing for a starting spot behind the offensive line that started in the spring. The left tackle was a returner from last year, Big GCL. They call him Big Tank. He's a 6'10" guy who you said was thin. He's definitely not thin, although it might sound thin because he's 6'10", but he's still 315, 320 plus pounds, and you can see the weight is on him. He's well put together. But he didn't do great last year on the offensive line, but he did hold his starting job down, and but he'll have some competition this year at left tackle. Left guard, you bring in a big Tyler Brown, who graded out the top offensive lineman at Jackson State last year. Big, strong guy, played at University of Louisiana Monroe, if I'm not mistaken, before coming to Jackson State to protect Shedeur Sanders. One of those big guys who take pride in blocking. You know what I'm saying? He started on that offensive line in the spring. I think he'll hold that position coming into the fall, and I think he has the talent to play at a Power 5. It's not going to be too big for him, and he's strong enough, like I said, to play there. Center position, got the freshman coming back. He's a sophomore now, bigger, faster, stronger, smarter, got competition on his butt now, so he's going to be ready to play. At the right guard, Jack Wilty, a big, strong offensive lineman, along with Jack Bailey, the guy who we just talked about, who was voted Pac-12 All-American. He's going to be pushed for that right guard position. At the right tackle position, you got big Savion Washington from Kent State, who graded out. No, these names are not sexy. No, they didn't come from all SEC schools, but they looked at across the board, across that landscape in the transfer portal, and said, "Do this guy fit my bill? This is what I'm looking for. Does he check off? Does he check off? Does he grade out? Was he a leader? Did he produce?" And yeah,
Right.
they brought those guys in, and I think there are at least two deep across that offensive line. I haven't really evaluated the newcomers yet, the JUCO guys who were just brought along, but the offensive line, Coach Prime say he happy with them. I don't think he's telling the story. You know, he say he happy with
But
the
it is.
offense.
Like I said, if he happy with it, hey, if he like it, I love it. That's awesome. I mean,
There
there's
you
nothing
go.
wrong with that. I just, like you said, this is the part that I like to have conversation because you can hear, I can understand, articulate your points and so forth and so on. Let me do this real quick as I move on. And I want to push the defense. I hate to say this, but a little bit faster because I
Yeah,
do want to open the phone lines. And I know you have to make a move here in a little bit.
yeah.
And it time go quick. You look down and you look back up and it's over. 290 people in the building. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe button. Most people wonder, Coach, why do you have the subscriber button on? I have it on because sometimes we get these porn sites, these robots, and they come all in and they flood the chat. And that's what we've been getting lately. So please go ahead and
Oh,
hit the
that's
subscribe.
dope. I need to do that though. Make you
Yeah,
subscribe to leave a comment.
yeah, but they ain't gonna do no but unsubscribe when they leave. I'm just doing it to keep them out
Don't do
the chat.
that.
Yeah, they do that, but guess what? Because they really think like, I appreciate you subscribing, but people really think like, oh God, dagger to the heart. You unsubscribe. Like,
Yeah.
relax. Anyway, let's go defensively real quick. We did talk about some of those guys. We talked about linebackers. If you wouldn't mind, we know what Travis Hunter can do. We know Commander McLean. We've talked about these on different shows and blah, 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 and so forth and so on. Linebacker wise, I like to just talk about those guys for a second. I know you have Savion Bailey, if I'm not mistaken. Bailey?
Savion Bailey. That's the name. Hold on. We got two Savions, but on defense?
Defense. On defense.
Savion Bailey.
Isn't that his name? He made the ALL Pac team. What's his name? Bentley.
Oh, Levante.
Levante Bentley. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to keep up. I ain't gonna lie, boy. Some of these names. I got Shador. I got Cavassier. I got Savion. I got Levante.
They all different.
Like AC and JoJo, boy. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, Levante Bentley had over 100 tackles in his playing time at Clemson when he got a chance to play. So he played well. Of course, there's a lot of talent at Clemson. He's penciled in as the believed starter. Next to him should be a guy by the name of DeMore Kennedy. Came from Alabama. Big, long, fast. One of the fastest guys on the team, actually. He's going to be the linebacker next to him. Coming off a knee injury. Didn't play a ton at Alabama, but we know the talent that Alabama has. He come from a real football high school in Theodore, Alabama, same school that C.J. Mosley came from, Baltimore Ravens linebacker, former Alabama backer. So they got some linebackers, Bentley, Kennedy, Marvin Ham returning, freshman Victory Johnson, London top player, Kofi Taylor Barracks, Pearson is a freshman. B. Gant from Florida State played well at safety and linebacker. He's going to be on the field for them. So they got some guys there, along with Jeremiah Brown, who came over from Jackson State. I know people in the chat don't like for me to mention Jackson State and the guys that they have and moving up to the Power 5. But he's going to be at linebacker. He had an impact at Jackson State last year. So my starters, though, are Levante Bentley from Clemson and DeMore Kennedy from Alabama.
All right, real quick, for the 499, my burner account, 499, thank you. Said this is a good, rational discussion. I appreciate the conversation. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Now, Travis J., he's the guy seeing the videos with the dreads, dark-skinned cat with the long dread. He a thick old dude, man. That's the young man from Florida State. Now, I see somebody say, Mac Mill says Travis J. still nursing an injury.
Yep.
It seems as if when I look at these well-off videos or wherever else they show, he seems to be the one doing a lot of the coaching out there. He seems to have a veteran spirit. He seems to have been around the block once or twice. Might need to check his birth certificate. He might be a little Might be a little too old around this cat. You know, they used to say that in high school. Nobody check his birth certificate.
Well, Coach brought some grown men, and he one of them grown men. You know what I mean? Mentality wise, you know, I think he has a daughter, so he has responsibility.
Okay.
You feel me?
Okay.
He came from
That's
Florida State. He played with some dogs. I remember playing against Florida State real quick. And I'll just tell you, just so you can have the mentality of a Florida State player, at least back then. I remember being on the field, man. Them guys, we was hanging with them. But I remember one of the safeties saying, "Hey, dog, we Florida State. They can't hang with us. We Florida State." I just turned around and looked at him, and he was standing to one of his teammates, get your mind right. We Florida State. You feel me? So it's a mindset that they have, coming from a Florida State or Miami or whatever. You have that pride within yourself, and I think he carries himself like that. He'll be one of them guys that I'll be drawn towards because he has that type of spirit about himself. We want everybody to do well. I can't practice right now. My knee is out, but I'm gonna make sure my presence is felt, whether I'm coaching, whether I'm keeping everybody up, or whatever. I'm correcting whatever it is. He cold-blooded. And they said the man is lying. Who lying? About what? I'm talking about
like I say, dog, you do that. Yeah, you're gonna do what I did. Again, I can't, like I said, I'm just here to listen and create the conversation. Because here where the truth serum gonna come in September 2nd. Is the truth serum for all of us. And then everybody gonna be standing in line.
They're gonna be coming back to my page, like hiding the head kick. How he knew that?
Better take the shot, dog. Everybody got to take the shot on September 2nd.
Anyway, Bigg Dogg Chico knew they were gonna beat. How he knew they was gonna beat TCU, dog?
Man, how Coach Hayes knew TCU was gonna beat Jackson State, man? How they do that?
Yeah, Jackson State. Yeah, not Colorado. Yeah, not Colorado though.
Oh man, Colorado. See that? Oh man, I gotta slap myself for that. That thing hurt. All right, here we go. Start building up the queue. We're gonna open up the phone line. Start building up the queue. 862-799-9956. We'll take a few phone calls here in the building. Right? If you hear the last four of your phone number, right, I will call that out. For example, I already got one in the background, 0442. Well, they just hung up. But 0442, that means I'm coming to you. If you don't answer, you literally got 2 minutes. Get in, get out. You hear this? That means, guess what? Wrap it up. If you hear this, I got to crash the plane, dog. I got to get you off because we don't have a lot of time. So get your question in, get it out. Don't pontificate, in the words of E. Brown. Don't be on here pontificating. All right? All right, let me go real quick, man. Let me get this thing here. All right, I got to get this going. Real quick, one more question on the defensive side. Charles Kelly comes from Florida State. I'm going to let the queue build up a little bit. Charles Kelly comes from Alabama as the assistant defensive coordinator. Then prior to that, I believe he was at Florida State. And I went back and looked at some old Florida State games. I have to be honest, I looked at that Clemson game, right, when they lost, I think 35-32 or something like that. I just want to look at it. He's a real high-pressure guy. Is that something that the Colorado talent can handle? Can they handle,
of course,
high pressure, the man-to-man, in and out, play for play? Because I'm going to tell you why I say this. Okay, you said of course. Now here's where I'm gonna rebut. Just follow my lead.
All right. Put my feet up right quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go get comfortable. Though. Make sure you got some pants on now, because we don't need to see all that.
You just see there's my kneecap.
Okay, I didn't make sure. Here's what I'm at. The reason I'm asking this question.
Yeah.
Because if you're a high man-to-man defense, who Charles Kelly seems to be, he is, and your offense is running 150 plays, I don't think they may reach that here and there, but I'll give them around the 110 mark, 115. I think that's relatively fair because there's some games you're going to slow down because you need to eat the clock, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So let's call it what it is. But here's what I'm going to say. I see you in the chat. Load it up, baby. Here's what I'm going to say. If you're playing a man defense, and I've done this myself, I played a team that was strictly man. We used to call it the Blue Angels, right? And everybody know what the Blue Angels is, right? The planes. We would run 4 verticals every play, run and play and all. Take them to the barn shit. Phew! Run those 4 straight off and run 4 on.
There you go.
Right? So you run 4 off, you bring 4 on, and you run it fast.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
And you do that over and over and over.
Yep.
Now, mind you, That's tiring because you can't rotate DBs
like
as
that.
easily as I can rotate receivers because it's one football. I know where the ball is going, but you don't.
Exactly. Right.
Okay. So I say that to say this. If I had to game plan, if just based off what we talked about here, I would Blue Angel this thing, and I want to see where your stamina at. Simply because I'm gonna run you 4 verticals, 4 off. You have to respect if you're a highly manned team. Then when you go 3 and out, which you're going to do at some point in the game, they're right back on. But here's another thing people don't talk about a lot. They don't talk about special teams. Chico, you play ball. Who's on kickoff team? What kind of players? What side of the ball on kickoff team?
Defensive players.
Who's on the punt team?
Defensive players mostly.
Who's on the kickoff return team?
Return tight ends, fullbacks, some receivers, and some blockers.
Not today's game. Go look at it again.
Kick return because you got to have a hands team. You got to have like hands out there.
That's hands team. We know that they kicking them out the back. The 2 dudes in the back, right? And maybe them fullbacks. We call them fullbacks, but they're not technically fullbacks. You know what I'm talking about?
They're not gonna be DBs though. They could be a linebacker. It'd be linebackers. Yeah. So you're gonna have a lot of defensive players playing.
And so that adds. So I'm saying to you that adds to their pitch count.
Yeah.
So now that's all I'm saying. And I've been coaching on a staff where we had an OC that was like that. And I'm going to him like, brother, you got to hit the brakes, bro. And I'm only bringing this up to say, I know that Charles Kelly is a high man-to-man defense press kind of guy. I know that come on, Hayes. I know that Sean Lewis wants to run these plays. And then now this is where Coach Prime and I saying he can't. But I'm just talking football. That's what we said we're going to talk. And so Coach Prime, the Colorado concoction is biting. And Charles Kelly, man-to-man, Sean Lewis, high pace offense. And now Coach Prime got to be the mediator in this deal. I just brought that up. Talk to me about that, then I open the phone lines up.
Because here's the thing. I'm trying to get all of it in. First of all, running those 4 verticals and wide receivers, that was my philosophy, and that's what I think they're going to do on offense for one anyway. They're going to run those guys, and you run a deep route, just go ahead and go to the sideline. We'll bring somebody else in. That's going to play to our advantage with the altitude playing, especially playing at Folsom Field in altitude. That's going to work to their advantage doing that on offense, right? That same philosophy, Blue Angels, that you said, I feel like they should do that on offense. Secondly, on defense, that's the exact reason why Coach Prime wanted Coach Charles Kelly, for the man coverages he liked to run, for those blitzes he liked to run, just like Coach DT from Jackson State with Coach Prime last year. They did a lot of blitzing and a lot of man coverage. Yes, it was at Jackson State, but we're talking about scheme and philosophy. That's exactly what they want to do. They want to run man back there, and that's why I sent you that clip from TCU, that first play. TCU first play in the spring game, they completed that short pass. In my book, it's going to be defended totally differently. That outside corner is going to be up in press position. That slot corner going to be in obvious man. All right? Those linebackers going to be, one is ready to come. This is going to be aggressive defense to where we're going to bet on these 5-star athletes out here at cornerback. We're going to bet, that the pressure can get to you with our defensive minds that we have and the blitzes that we have. Even if we don't blitz, we got man across the board, one free safety back there with Shiloh. Everybody else is matched up, and we coming. Take your chances. You just said our best players are where? On the outside. So if we blitz in here, your quarterback now has to be on Shedeur Sanders level, and they got to make these decisions quickly. You make a mistake. Now you have what out there? You're throwing the ball. It's a 50-50 ball to Travis Hunter, who's a honorable mention wide receiver, and you got Kermoney McClain, 6'3", who played wide receiver. Their ball skills are up there. Same thing with Shiloh Sanders. Same thing with Cooper and Robinson. They have the guys to do it. They just got to do it.
Right. And I'm gonna say this last point. Phone lines are coming open. I already know who this is, but to my last point is, yes, you're 100% correct. I totally get it. And Chip Kelly, to his credit, back when he was at Oregon, I remember watching the interview. The reason he wanted to run 120 plays, that was his goal per game. his philosophy was, if I'm right 7 times, that's 49 points. I should win the ball game.
Exactly. That's the
So
whole
he's saying,
point. It's a
yeah,
numbers game. This ain't no difference from the NBA shooting all these 3-pointers and
yeah.
the 3 and key. No need to shoot outside the key when that percentage is lower or just about the same as a 3-pointer. You might as well take your chance and shoot a 3-pointer and get the extra point rather than shooting a long 2-pointer.
I'm from the Shack Attack days, dog. Put it in the paint.
That's what I'm telling you. Is it paint or 3?
Anyway.
It makes sense by percentages, and that's what they're doing offense wise. It's a numbers game. If we can run all of these plays, and I can hit on these aggressive plays or these big plays that we call them on this play sheet, we can hit on 7 of those. We should win this ball game, and that's what they're going with, Coach.
I like it. Coming to the first one, man. V12 in the building. V12, talk to me. V12.
Yeah. What's up, man? What's up, Coach?
I'm good, baby. I miss you, dog.
Miss you, brother. What's up, Chico?
What's happening, V12? What's happening with you? Oh, now.
All right. Listen,
this is my Cane's co-host right here.
I thought I recognized his name.
I understand the enthusiasm from the Colorado fans and your enthusiasm as well. But my brother, you have painted a utopian football team, and I hate to bust your bubble, but that is not where we're going.
Okay.
And my concern, and Coach know this, I'm one of the reasons why Coach did the apology show for Coach Prime. I'm a Prime person. I love Coach Prime, but I have a lot of concern. Everyone is focusing on the offense, but Prime's team has wet the bed on defenses plenty times. And in case you haven't known, Chico, and haven't done your research, North Carolina Central put up 41 on Prime's defense with all those great coaches he had. And that was in the Celebration Bowl. Loss number 2. Then South Carolina State put up 31 on Prime. So even though you got McLean and you got Travis Hunter, I think the Achilles heel for your team is going to be your defense. So y'all better hope y'all can score 41 points and 42 points, because y'all about to have an issue on defense. And you can bet that. So don't bet on nothing else. You better bet on the offense and leave the defense alone. So what are you thinking? What do you think is going to happen when you get into a situation with the TCU who's slinging that ball left and right? And let me tell you this. I love Travis Hunter, but that two-way thing he got going on ain't working in this primetime football. They're going to protect him, right? He's going to either have to play receiver or he's going to have to play corner. And I'm not sure he's ready for this primetime football.
Man, this is not.
All right, we that real quick. Well, you know I love you, dog. I got a lot going on, but Chico got a dip, so I got to get these guys going.
I got to answer this though.
No, you can answer. I'll just let them know. Dang,
I hope I get all of what he said.
Brother.
First of all,
thanks, Bill. Love you.
Appreciate it, Will. 41 plus points in those bowl games. You got some guys that didn't even play in the bowl game on defense for Jackson State during those times. You trying to judge them on the bowl game. What happened during the whole season? They was number 1 in the country on defense during those times. We ain't talking about the bowl game. They accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, sweeping the SWAC, going 12-0. They get to the bowl game. Of course, some players don't show up, some players don't play, so we could throw that out of the window. And Shador stepped up and did his thing, and Travis did their thing in that game. As far as the defense goes, moving forward, that's why they improved this year with the recruits that they brought in. If there is a question mark on the defense based off of the highly brought in, highly rated guys that they brought in on offense, yeah, you can say the defense might be, undervalued or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Right now, they might be the Achilles heel right now, but I think once these pads come on, Coach, it's going to be a totally different ball game. Y'all going to see.
No, I agree. Listen, because I'm on a push and push, but I agree with you. But here's the question. Let me ask this quick question. Travis Hunter, starting receiver, starting DB.
Yeah, I'll make sure I want to get to that.
I know, but I just want to go quick.
Real quick.
Hold on, but if he's a starting receiver, starting DB. Bro, we talking about 150 plays. I'm gonna knock it down to 115 just to be realistic.
Come on, coach. You listen. You coach. You play football. You've been around football. You know he's not gonna play 100. And he's not gonna play every play as a starter on offense. And
Hold on, Chico. Don't you know why I didn't say it? Because I don't want to be labeled a hater. I'm glad you said
I'm saying
because as soon as I would have said, Chico, as soon as I would have said, well, guys, you know he's not going to play every play. You're a hater. He's the number one player. He's conditioned. So I'm just simply saying, Chico.
I'll tell you from firsthand, and this was an all-star game, but it's still firsthand, right there on the sideline with him, next to him, this close to him, in action. All right. In action at the all-star game here in Hawaii, the Polynesian Bowl, right? He played both ways against some of the best players in the country. How did he handle that? I was a both-way guy too, but when I got to college, I let someone like V12 tell me I can't play both ways, and I actually listened to it. You feel me? But Travis Hunter has that same mindset. I sat there and I witnessed it. And I got some of it on tape to where you have the mindset of, I'm a football player. I don't even supposed to be on the sideline. I only come to the sideline to get something to drink. That's my knee. To get something to drink and to get right back out there. You feel me? Whoever's in my place, they're a sub. And that's how he handled it. Hey, coach, I'm going back in. Boom. Coach, I'm ready to go back in. And that's what Travis is going to be. You see in the well-off videos, the man don't get tired. This is not a normal chat.
Hey, I want the chat to get this. All right, here we go. We're going to 7804. 7804 coming to you. Call and talk to us. 2 minutes.
What's up, Coach? It's Scotty.
Say it again. Scotty, off script. What's up?
We got 1 minute and about 50 seconds. You're gonna be yelling in about 3 seconds.
Let me say this. The thing for me, and I'm riding with V12 on it a little bit, but I think where he took it was a little off. For me, it's the quarterback position, right? So Shedeur has never, in no time in the FCS, that he had to step on the field and outduel a quarterback. Right, he was always the best guy on the field. He always had the best team on the field. In the situation walking into the Pac-12, you're going to go against better quarterbacks, better offenses than what you have. So the mindset then changes, right? Because when he was in the SWAC, all he had to do was score 21 points. He scored 21 points. That defense was going to do the rest and things like that. When you're walking into the Pac-12, that is no longer the question. The question is can you put up 35 to 40 points, and can you go toe-to-toe with some of the big dogs in the Pac-12? And that part of Shedeur's game we have not seen. You could say the Celebration Bowl, but NCC's defense wasn't really all that anyway. That's why he was able to put those type of points up. So for me, it's that mindset. Can Shedeur handle that type of mindset of not being the best team on the field, not favored every time on the field, and then having to go toe-to-toe with some of the big dogs in there? And that, for me, I think that's what this game is really going to tilt on, because, yeah, you can have all the special players and the dick and dunks, and if we want to go into analytics, his air yards in the SWAC, he barely threw over 15 yards. It was everything for him was 15 and down. So when you get into a Power 5 situation, they're going to play against your strengths, right? So if you're a middle of the field, behind the line, they're going to play towards that. It's not going to be in the SWAC situation where they got one defensive analyst. Everybody, you got three coaches doing three. You know how it is in the HBCU arena. You got one coach doing three different jobs. You know what I'm saying? So it's, to me, I just think this is a more analytic game of playing towards Shedeur's weaknesses, and that's what a lot of defenses are going to do to make him uncomfortable. So I'm curious to see what he looks like in that. That's my little 2 cents.
Appreciate that, Scotty. Go ahead, you can respond, but I'm gonna push on. Hey, appreciate you, Off Script. Y'all go check out Off Script. Does a great job with HBCU content. Go check him out over there. All you gotta do is type in Off Script Off Script TV on YouTube and check it out. But I'm gonna go ahead and push forward. I'm gonna let him respond, and I'm open the next one because I know he's short on time. I'm short on time, and we got quite a few. If you want to call in, call in now. I'm gonna give you literally 2 minutes to call in. I'm gonna lock it because I can't keep taking those calls because we'll never get done with the show. Go ahead, you can respond to that, brother.
Appreciate your Off Script, but I think definitely Shedeur Sanders is ready for this. And keep me from going too long, too, Coach. I think definitely.
When you hear me say "got you," let me wrap it up.
Okay, but he's he's definitely ready to do it, especially coming in like with a chip on his shoulder, not being in any type of respect. Same type of mindset you have. I think people have across the Pac-12 about Shedeur Sanders. He had it easy in the SWAC, and can he do this versus better talent and with against another quarterback that's going to be dueling against him? Well, we're going to definitely see it come this season. I think he's more than ready for. He has the talent around him now. And as far as analytics goes, the dinking and dunking that he did last year, of course, you're exactly right about that. Not many balls went over 15 yards. It kind of had me frustrated last year. But does that mean he can't throw the deep ball? Not at all. He had one of the highest percentages of completion for the deep ball in all of football last year. Him, Caleb Williams, and the guy who got drafted from Ohio State, right, Straub, was the top 3 passers in college football last year. Go do the research.
Come on,
and you would see
C.J. Stroud. Oh,
CJ Stroud.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
I said, Stroud, whatever his name is.
I thought you were talking about Ryan Staub at first. I was like,
not
who?
Ryan Staub. No,
Yeah.
But you know, yes, they're gonna try. I would love for them to try to take away the short passes from them because they're going to see just what they have going deep, and I think that's going to be their MO in the first quarters of these games, especially TCU, is to go deep downfield to try to get some quick, fast scores and get up in a hurry.
I got you, man. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to 6406 next. You got 2 minutes. 6406. Talk to us.
What's going on, Coach? This Tony the Pod Boss.
Tony, what's up, man? Appreciate your donations, man. Thank you.
Most certainly, man. You know, I enjoy this content. Kind of wanted to address, what's been talked about. I think what a lot of guys, especially V12, is missing. Jackson State was still the #1 defense in FCS.
Exactly.
When we get done talking about what they did and they didn't do, at the end of the day, they only allowed, about 3.9 yards of play. So that's not really an issue. What a lot of people are also forgetting when they talk about Shedeur, is his stats is pretty comparable to what's the kid that plays at Washington State, Cam Ward. About 40 touchdowns, about 8 interceptions, somewhere about almost 4,000 yards. And you see what Cam Ward did his first year in the Pac-12, this daunting Pac-12, and all of these extra analysts that people talk about. He still threw for over 3,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, and about 10 picks. I think people forget that when you have better players around you, your game just naturally rises to the occasion at the end of the day. You don't all of a sudden just become a scrub. Also, when you, Prime, people forget like how detailed, Prime is, Coach Prime is at the end of the day. Like, this is a Hall of Famer. This is a guy that's very, very disciplined in everything that he does. He talks about, all through his life, how, he took certain things from different people and he adapted it, put that into his own game. You think he's around Nick Saban for nothing? He's looking at everything Nick Saban does. He's bringing in a high level, coaches, analysts that's looking at everything you can possibly think of. Even, bringing in, Coach Schumer just, a few days ago. NFL coach has been in NFL for 18 years. They're looking at everything you can possibly think of, going through every single scenario you can possibly think of to support him. He rose to the occasion in terms of, bringing in better receivers. And you also got to keep in mind, people could say whatever they want about the receiving game. Sean Lewis' offense is a running game. And I think people don't really realize that. We talk about the linemen that he has on the field. Those linemen are perfect for this scheme. This is not a power scheme. They're not looking for big, 320-pound linemen. They're looking for guys that are going to pull, guys that, that are, wide zone, and a guy, like Alton McCaskill that's going to pick a hole and take off. Sean Lewis had 3 running backs at one time that went over 500 yards.
Correct.
So they know exactly what they're doing, in return to this offense. So I think they're going to be pretty fine, when the season starts.
I appreciate you, Tony the Pod Boss. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. We're going to get on to our next caller. We got quite a few, and I'm locking the conference right now, man. Thank you, man. Really appreciate your points of view.
All factual.
The conference has been locked.
All right, just locked it right there. No one else can call in. We got quite a few. I know who this is. I hope my boo ain't turn on me. I hope my boo ain't turn on me.
Mm-hmm.
This Sheila from Colorado, she was supposed to bake me a cake. She's supposed to make me a red velvet cake, but make it gold inside. And I hope all this talk ain't changed. I hope they ain't changed her opinion. I hope I don't get no Suge Avery cake, Sheila. Sheila, talk to me from Colorado.
Hey, Coach. You know I didn't turn on you, Coach.
I appreciate it.
I think you just have your opinions.
Oh, dang, you turned on me. Oh.
No, I didn't turn on you. But here's what I think, though. It's like we can sit here and we can talk about what they got, what they don't got, what everybody got, and they got this and they got that. But you just don't know. None of us really know how this all gonna play out. We know, like us that are Colorado fans, we know that we think that they got a good team. We think that they brought in some players and some folks that's gonna help them out. I think every college football team, fans around the country think their team is the better team.
Of course.
That's all it is to it. Everybody is rooting for their team. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with people having doubts about their team based on what they see and what they think. But the key word in this whole thing is what you think. It's not what you know. It's what you think. And so I'm just sitting here listening and looking at the chat, and everybody's going in about what Shedeur gonna do, what he's not gonna do. I think Shedeur's gonna have a very good game.
Yes.
I mean, a good season.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna go from there, man.
I love it, Sheila. And you know what? Real quick to your point.
GOAT Prime.
And you said it when you first said it. Like, you just have your opinion. And a lot of my opinion is based off my experience. And my experience is a lot different than a lot of other people in the chat. I'm not saying I know each and everything. I'm not saying what I say is the gospel. But what I do know is a lot of things that a lot of people don't know that go on behind the scenes. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where I have my opinion. That doesn't make me a hater. That just simply says, look, okay, this guy coming from, like, prime example, me and Chico sit up here. We've disagreed. We've agreed. Ain't nobody tripping. Now, I'm going to tell you what I don't think Chico can put that jersey on. Now, I don't think he can put that. Now, you can call me a hater for that, but I don't think he can put that jersey on.
I bet you I could put it on. I might not look like I used to. I bet
you would be talking all of a sudden. You could be like this.
Gotta take those small breaths.
I think it'll choke you out, man. But to your point, Sheila, I appreciate you, baby. I do. And thank you for not turning on me, because I need a friend.
I still got your cake coming too.
All right, now. That sounds like it's going to be all. Never mind. I'm going to leave that alone. All right, Sheila. Thank you, baby. Bye now.
All right. Bye.
Now. All right, we're going to 90-25 coming to you. You got 2 minutes. Call or talk to us. Give us your name. Where you calling from?
It's Jonas, man, from New Orleans, bro.
You heard me? Shout out to the NO.
Hold on. Pause your time. Is this the Jonas that be in the chat?
Yeah, man. What's
up? Yeah, Jonas. I'll be seeing you in there with them Twitter fingers. Go ahead, get your point across. I'm gonna straighten it in a second. Go ahead, Jonas.
Shout out to y'all too. I be watching y'all. You know what I'm saying? Keeping up with the content. Shout out to Chico. And I got a question for Chico and a question for Coach. The question for Chico is, who do you think gonna be the top receiver by the end of the year? Me personally, I'm a homer. I'm going towards Javon, but it's hard not to vote for Jimmy.
Yeah, I
all right, well, I'm gonna do this. Hold on, let me do this. Ask your second question to me, and then we'll answer both.
Right.
I bet. The question to you a defensive coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you say Colorado gonna lose to TCU. Going into that game, you the defensive coordinator. How would you attack them?
How would I attack Colorado?
Yeah, as a defensive coordinator at TCU.
I'm going to put the pressure on them at first, right? I got 3 different levels. The very first thing I do when I go in there is, one, I want to see, can they handle the pressure, right? It's a lot of things going on. I'm going to try and bring different things. I'm going to see if the offensive line can handle stunts, right? And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that right now they don't get a running game started, okay? Running games kill all teams at all times. I don't care who you are. We've seen the greatest show on turf lose a ball game because they can't run the ball. We saw the Seattle Seahawks lose a game because they throw a pick in the end zone when you got the greatest running back of all time. Not all time. I'm embellishing, but you got the beast back there. Literally, he can't. You don't let him run it 3 feet to win the game. So I say all that to say I'm stopping the running game and I'm putting the pressure on. I want to make sure that they can handle the pressure, and it starts up front with the front five. We're going to be twisting. We're going to be stunting. We're coming from different angles, and you're not knowing where the pressure coming from. Now, if I see that they can handle that, now we start doing split coverage stuff. When I look at it, I say, okay, let's go some split coverage deals. Let's give them a too-high look, but it's a man to this side, maybe quarters to that side, cover 2 to this side. We're going to have to change it up. We're not just playing vanilla straight Madden ball here, right? I want to see not that can number 2 handle it, because number 2 is a component, but he ain't the end-all, be-all. He can't throw the ball to himself. I got to make sure that the front five can handle the pressure. Second, can the back end, can the disguises work? And that's where I go with it. Just to answer your question quickly, Chico, go ahead and answer your side, and then we'll push on.
Okay, so the top receiver at the end of the year, who will it be? In my opinion, and we both said Jimmy Horn Jr. in that slot. Also, Javon Antonio outside. We look at Shador's favorite target from last year was Shane Hook, and he played outside. Also, Dallas Daniels on the inside. But I think with this offense and him with their RPO and reading those linebackers and those guys inside the box, he's going to be hitting a guy like Jimmy Horn Jr. a lot on these quick passes, those screen passes. But the big play receiver will be, like you said, Javon Antonio on the outside. Even Weaver will have a chance to make a lot of plays. But the leading receiver as far as receptions, I think, will be Jimmy Horn Jr. The yards and touchdowns will be Javon Antonio.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. Jonas, I see you. I be watching you in the chat, boy. I'm telling you, these big eyes ain't just to see with.
Look, I want to make one statement to the dude B12. He said he don't know if Travis Hunter is ready for the big life. This man is on a preseason All-American list already, man.
That's not, but that's not what he said, though. See, stop now, Jonas. That's not what he said.
That's what he said.
He said going both ways. See, that's right there is where, unless he said it in the chat and I didn't see it. But I'm talking about when he called in, B12 didn't say he wasn't ready. He said, and you go back and replay it, he said him playing both ways.
Which I think he will be able to handle just like he is.
No, but stop. But Chico, I got to stop you. That's fine. But Jonas said that Travis wasn't ready for the big stage. That is very different than saying that he can handle playing both ways. Would you agree or disagree with that, Chico?
Yeah, he asked basically, could he handle playing both ways in on the big stage? Correct? Did he not say that? Like in that conference?
V12, he in the chat. Put it in the chat. Did you say, and maybe I heard it wrong, and maybe I'm being put in the chat. Did you say he could not be on the big stage? You can always rewind the tape later. But I swear I thought he said, and I may be wrong, but I thought he said clearly that him playing both ways is that's not playing on the big stage. I think Travis Hunter can play on the big stage.
Yeah, like he said in the chat right here, big boy ball, which is, a higher level, big stage, whatever. I think it was big boy ball is what he said.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. Well, 12, you got dang it, you on your own then. Go on to get with it. I got to push on because we got to go. All right, I'm coming to 50. I'm coming to 56-61 next. 56-61 next. Caller, talk to us. You got 2 minutes.
Yeah, what I don't understand, man, is
who is this?
What this is LT.
Oh, LT. Hold up. Pause your time, LT. Hold up, LT. LT, I've been seeing you in the chat too, dog.
Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big dog. He a big dog. You know what I mean? He a big dog. You see that big in front of his name?
Hold up. Let pull that knife out my back. All right, LT. Talk to me, man.
Oh, nah. I ain't never said that you
nah, I'm just teasing you.
Okay.
I'm just messing with you.
And you know what? Real quick, let me correct that. I did say I misquoted Big LT one time when he came in on the chat. He said Coach Hayes is definitely not a hater, but I read it as Coach Hayes is a hater. But then I went back and looked at it. I said no, he said not. So just to clarify that. Anyway,
he did. I saw it.
Okay,
go ahead, LT. You talk to us, baby.
What I'm trying to figure out, when did the Pac-12 all of a sudden become the SEC in defense or something, man? The Pac-12 defense is been trash. They don't, since they didn't came out with the playoff system, not one Pac-12 has made Pac-10 has made it to the playoffs, man. Not one. Oregon State had the best defense last year. They was ranked 25.
Trash.
They had the best defense in the Pac-12 last year, and they was ranked 25.
Trash.
Come on. I mean, well, that's what I want to say. People act like he's like Shador finna get ready. This is really a good stage and a good let's say level for Shador right here over in the Pac-12 in this conference for him to prepare for the NFL or for that playoff system.
Right. For him
I think he's gonna have a. Then people want to try to compare him to Cam Ward. Man, I think Shador has way more resources and way more advantages over Cam Ward right now than Cam Ward had coming into Washington State in his first year. Even right now, I think he got more weapons than Cam Ward does. A better support staff than Cam Ward does. You know what I mean? And probably in the way that they look when they was in their training a couple of months ago, training together, him and Cam Ward, he looked like he got more confidence and more belief than Cam Ward does.
Yeah.
But that's just me. And I see that the Pac-12 has upgraded their defense this year. They got to. They doing exactly what the SWAC had to do because they don't want to get outdone and outshined and get out there and get stomped on by Palm and get embarrassed.
I got you.
They doing exactly what he making them get on their game.
Right.
Got you. We got to run, man, because he's short on time, and so am I. We got to get off.
Shout out to TCU. I looked at their roster, and someone said TCU got some big dogs back there. They do. They got some big, fast, rangy corners and I just say DBs. Period. Safeties and corners, all over 6 feet. Only like 1 or 2, like 5'11" or shorter. So everybody's big, strong DBs. They look the part. Like a Big 12, Big 10, Power 5, SEC, whatever school, they look the part. Can they keep up with a Jimmy Horn Jr.? Can they keep up with Travis?
You can't ask questions, dog. Do you know you're gonna be labeled as a hater, Chico?
Hey, man.
You're gonna be called Big Dog Hater.
Oh, they can say I hate on TCU all you want to. You can say I hate on whoever. I'm
I love
it. Prime.
All right, man. Let me get the next call here, man. Oh God, the long snapper preacher. I'm starting your 2 minutes. Let me slap this dude. Go ahead, man. Long snapper preacher in the building. You got 2 minutes, man. Going once. Long snapping preacher going twice.
Long snapping preacher. Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry, Coach. I had you on mute.
Boy, I was about to have you almost. Go ahead.
Had him on
Listen,
mute.
Coach, I was trying to get in. I was saying, Coach, put me in the game, and then Coach finally said, punt team in. So, I had to come in.
Long snapper, let's go.
First of all I want to say is to keep it on point before we go into our praise break. I want to just say, I guess we'll just see. Colorado's going to have an exciting team, but we'll see when the season starts what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But now it's time to go into the praise break real quick. James 5, verse 13. Are any of you suffering hardship? You should pray. Are any of you happy? You should sing praises. Praise God at all times. Always go to him with prayers and have faith in your prayers that you're talking to the King of this universe so you can get answers in those prayers, right? A loved one or somebody you're passionate about, what do you do, Coach? What do you, I don't know. I'm sorry, the guy next to you, I don't know your
Bigg
name,
Dogg Chico.
You talk to them. Mr. Chico, okay. You talk to them, right? Everybody in the chat talk to them, right? Go to God in faith and pray to him, right? And then also Psalms 37, verse 4, make sure you take delight in the Lord so he will give you the desires of your heart. Not so you can get what you want, but so the Lord can give you the proper desires that you need, right, for your heart, and so you can go forward. Pray in faith and keep your eyes on the Lord. I don't care what anybody in the chat says. I don't care if it's off topic or whatever, because I'm a servant of the Most High God, and I know somebody in this chat, maybe it's you too, somebody really needs it, and I'm just saying keep going, keep praising in faith, and keep trusting the Lord so he will give you the proper desires of your heart. Thank you for having me on. Excited, God willing, to hopefully watch some Colorado games this year. Anyway, just have a blessed day. Bye, Coach.
Appreciate that, good Reverend Doctor.
So
Appreciate it.
he's the long snapping preacher.
Long snapping preacher.
Because he's a long snapper at a junior college. And he
Okay.
always leave us with a prayer. And he know I be
You gotta-
slapping him up.
You have a skill that a lot of people can't even, think about trying to master as a long snapper. So you got a lot of, high quality athletes that can't long snap. You feel me? I was told, hey man, if you just learn how to long snap, you can get in the league. I couldn't get the long snap it down.
So real quick, I want to say for Reggie, we will not have the offering. So just quickly let y'all know, as you can see right here, if you like to donate the Cash App, please feel free, $ Coach Hayes Football, PayPal, and all that other good stuff, Snapchat. I'm just teasing, man. I'm just having fun with it. All right, we got
Motivated shirt. Make sure you get your Woke Up Motivated shirt and merch. Go to my page, subscribe.
All right, Woke Up. Okay, I didn't know that. You got woke. Okay,
Motivated.
I saw that, but I didn't know it was merch. Y'all gonna buy that stuff too, man. Hey, matter of fact, speaking about it, can we get some Po Little Timmy shirts? Y'all go buy the Po Little Timmy shirts, man. Come on, man. Y'all go buy a Po Little Timmy shirt. They right up underneath the video. If you take your phone and you turn it back this way, you'll see it come right up underneath the screen down at the bottom. All right, last call of the night. This is Mr. E. Scrub Hub Brown. You got 2 minutes and we out of here.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good evening, Mr. Chico. Listen, all night.
Just because you talking about it's good morning, it's 10 o'clock at night. You talking about good morning?
Well, for the last 3 hours, we've been talking. You know my term. We've been talking nerd talk all night. So the thing is that when the two-way question that was posed and the thing that V12 said, V12 was dead on point. However he said it, he's right, he's correct. There's no dispute about it. He's absolutely correct for whatever he said. The two-way thing is that when we have two groups of fans from the University of Miami and Colorado Buffalo, we've been mired in Loserdome for a number of years. So what we do is we participate in this kind of crap that we're listening to tonight. We start talking about who's going to do this and who's doing that, who's going to be the better of that, and who's going to be the better of this. If you go on to an Alabama or Georgia live talk podcast right now, they are not participating in this scrub stuff, man. This is scrub and nerd talk. Okay.
So what are they talking about on Alabama Talk then? Real quick, enlighten us what they talking about on Alabama or Georgia Talk, because I love to hear it. Because I worked right up there where Paul Feinbaum is for a good little while. I know exactly what they be talking about up there, and it's a bunch of type of buffoonery, whatever you want to call it, like what's going on right here. We're talking about football X's and O's, man. We're talking about schemes, man. What are you talking about? What are you hearing?
Mr. Chico, let me finish. Let me finish, Mr. Chico. See, the thing about it is right now we have two things going on right now. We're stuck in delusion, and we're stuck in the other thing, which we're going to call being an escapist. Okay, when you're delusional, you have an unshakable belief about something that's not true, that's untrue. That's when you're delusional.
How are you going to say something is not true when it hasn't happened yet?
It's an unshakable belief in something that's untrue. That's delusion.
What's untrue?
Now, when you're an escapist, Mr. Chico, when you're an escapist like you are right now, you're an escapist. You're in a rare category. You're an escapist.
I mean, I'm definitely in a rare category.
Real world. You don't believe in the real world, but you dream, you wish, and you fantasize instead. So you're fantasizing about.
Man, I didn't use one word. I didn't use wish one time. I didn't use fantasize. I didn't use hope. I didn't use none of those things. Not one.
Sound like me, Chico. Chico, you sound like me, don't you?
Time, player.
I ain't say none of this stuff.
You feel me?
Get it, Chico. Hey, you finna get it, Chico. You getting it now. Just what I got the other day. All the added stuff that you didn't say, they say you said. Yeah, bruh. Nah, that's me. Right now. You said, hold on. You said Coach Hayes failed. You said Coach Prime failed. Word fail never came out of my mouth. But now you finna get it, Chico, and I'm finna sit here and watch. Get him, E. Brown.
And how he go? E. Brown sound like somebody I know too. And
Oh, excuse me, Chico. Let me put my feet up. Excuse me, and that's my knee.
That's your knee.
That's my knee.
Hey, I need to make a T-shirt and say that's my knee.
That's my knee.
Come on, man.
Now, let me finish
My
my
burner
thought.
account, man. You must be crazy.
You Don Trump been over 2 minutes, E. Brown. Come on, man.
Come on, make your point real quick. I'm gonna let you do it.
What we got here is a failure to communicate. That's what we have.
We've been communicating all night.
And the failure to communicate is that we have a mixture of delusional fans out there, and we have a mixture of the new category, which is escapists. We have a bunch of escapists out here right now. We have Mr. Chico, who's the number one. He's the number one escapist right now because he doesn't believe in the real world. He's dreaming. He's wishing. He's fantasizing instead. So much so that what an escapist does is that they will play a video game and they will think that it's for real. You know, like those guys who play.
Think it's for real.
That's what we're at. He's like the fantasy football player. You know, that fantasy football player who think they're a general manager and they're head coach and whatever.
Ooh,
right now, Mr. Chico thinks that we're going to sit here and believe that the Colorado Buffaloes are going to put an offensive team on the football field that's going to run 115 plays with no second or third string players capable of replacing the tired first string players. He's going to try to sell us that.
Nah, Chico, don't get tired. You got to take it, dog. Just like me, Chico. Just like me, Chico, you got to take it. You got to take that.
You talking loud, but you ain't saying nothing. Not nothing at all, dog. You talking real loud. I ain't saying Nathaniel. Come on, man.
Hold up, Chico. You being disrespectful. That's an older guy. You know he got his hair brushed back like Al Sharpton and George Jefferson in the front. Chico, you being disrespectful. No.
You probably wear oversized tighty whities. They ain't even tight no more. It's just oversized.
Chico, this is why you being a hater. He's an older gentleman and you're being disrespectful. You came at him.
Right now. That's why he laughing.
No, you're being
hateration or no holleration in this dance.
No, you being disrespectful, Chico. And he's saying, no. And I know he's saying, Chico, I know he's adding things to your conversation. Chico, he's adding stuff to your conversation that you didn't even say. But you got to sit there and take it. Because if you rebut it, you're a hater, Chico. And you better stop it right now. If not, we're going to unsubscribe from your channel. And when
Coach Elston said it. Coach Hayes called this guy, told him, hey, man, come on in. Come on in.
Can I tell you a real quick question? He's a Miami Hurricane fan. He do the same thing to the Miami Hurricanes.
Hey, he don't listen. That's what it is. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth. You got to listen, dog. At least listen to what your boy said. It's just like what Coach Hayes said. Don't lie on me.
Just don't lie on me.
Just don't lie on me.
No. You gotta, when your first perception of something is actually your reality. Okay? Your first perception of something is actually your reality.
E. Brown, we got to go. Hurry up, E. Brown.
Philosophies and quotes and all this other stuff that you done wrote down and said I'm going to spit hits to him. Come on, man.
E. Brown, real quick. Last line. We got to run because I'm supposed to be going at 10 o'clock. It's 10:10, bro.
My reality is that Mr. Chico he's living in the twilight zone. Okay.
You know what happens in the twilight zone? Let me tell you a quote. Since you want to do quotes, let me tell you what Coach Hart said. Listen. Let me tell you something. And it's all about this. I wish I need to get the quote for real because I'm going to butcher it right now. But basically it goes like this. There are people in this world who believe that this is the ceiling and that's how they live their life. But the world is only turned around and changed by the people who believe, as you said, are delusional and all this other stuff, who believe way more can even be possible than those ones on that level which you are. So yes, I am in an elite category because I see things just like Dr. Martin Luther King said. I've been to the mountaintop. I've seen the other side. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all might still be down here in the shadows and don't understand, never even seen it, never even realized you can get to the mountaintop. You understand what I'm saying? So stay on down there. And when
So
we
I'm gonna
hop
say this,
on
E
the
Brown,
sideline,
I got to run. I got to get out. I'm getting
yeah,
text messages.
big.
Listen,
I got you. But that was a deep comparison there to bringing Dr. Martin Luther King in on this delusional conversation. That was
I'm from
deep.
Selma, Alabama. It correlates well, sir. I'm from the true
listen,
South.
E Brown, I love you. I got to go. Crash your plane.
Much love to you, E Brown.
All right, I had to let him go. I had to crash the plane. So listen, real quick, he's still in the background back there. But anyway, that was fun. I just want to say this. So Chico, I just want to let you know that right there is exactly what happens to me. Stuff that I never said, people say. Here's another prime example right here. Elston, I see him in the other chats. Wow, this is a setup by Coach Hayes. If he watches any other show, which he probably doesn't because he doesn't like me, you would know E Brown calls in on every show. I even play TLC Scrubs because he calls the Portal Scrub Hub. But this is the kind of stuff. But look, this is the kind of stuff that people do. Like Elston, this is a setup, bro. I don't have time for this. I gotta go, and E Brown won't be quiet. But this is the kind of so now you truly know how I feel when people start adding stuff to things you never said. You did that wasn't your intention, bro. I'm telling you, it's crazy. And then you know what? Just like your man, Coach G. I respect Coach G. You know what? I'm tired of him. Guess what? I'm going to unsubscribe from him. I don't have time for it. Holla. Remember that he said on your show?
Yeah.
But guess what?
There's some people just like that with me, though. For sure.
Hold on. I want you to hear this. Coach G.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So say good night to the bad guy.
That's it. That's how I look at it. People want to come up with their own conclusion because they half hear the truth. They don't watch the channel. They don't go watch other things that I've done on Coach Prime. No, they hear one thing, they take a snippet, and they done with it. And so with that being said, I'm good. And right there, I'm just playing. I'm really just playing. I'm just I feel bad. I know she
I don't even have to address some of these comments, but man, y'all, you know, people like Surferboard dumbing in a sack of rocks. You don't even know you're in this world. You're just a little bitty baby bird out here asking for help and food in your mouth. You don't even know you're living. Look, he said he got recruited by Auburn and Georgia, but he went and chose to play at UAB. What you want me to do? Prove it? You want me to show you some letters or something?
But see, this is what I'm saying.
You probably never got recruited. You was the last person that ever got picked on your kickball.
Don't do it.
And
Chico, don't do it. Chico, reconsider, bro. Don't do it. Reconsider. Chico, don't do it. You finna fall into it. And Surfer, he my dude. But they all
trap for no Surfer boy. Damn,
you was almost there, and I had you right here by the shirt. I had you like this, like, no, don't do it. Reconsider. Real quick, Tanisha, I'm only playing. But to me, Tanisha says this is more complicated than my player hating degree classes. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. I don't want no problem. I was just teasing. No, but anyway, on a serious note, I'm just having fun with it. God, this is the kind of conversation I like to have. But Chico, I hope you truly understand. Stuff that you didn't say, people add to it. And that's part of it. And as much as this thing going to grow, your channel, all these other people's channels that do this kind of stuff, bro, it's going to happen, and I get it, right? And so that's what it is. It's all fun and games, right? We're going to have a good time. We'll definitely find out September 2nd. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much, man. Like I say, just don't lie on me, man. That's all I'm asking.
Don't lie on me, dog. Goodness.
Because I've always had, I got one request. If you say I did something and I rebuke it, and I rebut it, or I dispute what you say, go pull a video. Don't say I said something and don't pull a video.
And I got my son in there yelling because like Coach Prime said, I'm gonna keep receipt, Coach. I keep receipts. And so E Brown, whatever you want to, follow up on, you can follow up on. Do your research though before you come to the big one. You understand?
More fire.
More fire. Shouts out to MIA, man. Shouts out to the whole FLA, the whole 2-7, the whole down south, southeast, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Kakalaka, like Trick Daddy said back in the day. You feel me?
Born and raised in the ALA.
Born and raised in the ALA. You feel me? In the ALA.
You gotta send me that song. You gotta send me that because
I've been pressuring him for the last few years because I used to have it on. It was back in. I used to have it on CD. I haven't heard that song in years, but it was.
It's on YouTube somewhere. Trust me, it's on YouTube. Some kind of film. Anyway, man, I appreciate you, dog. Thank you so much. We about to be out of here. Like I say, everybody want to say Everybody, they need people like me, Chico.
Huh?
They need people like you sometimes, Chico.
You need people like me because you're going to spit it out. I'm going to spit it right back at you.
People like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So say good night to the bad guy.
Say good night to the bad guy. We appreciate you. We thank you. With all that being said, Chico, go follow him. Ellen has put his stuff in the chat. I know he'll slice and dice this up later. Y'all can definitely check it out, but I do appreciate the conversation. And with all that being said, Chico, we out of this joint, man. Thank you, brother, man. And peace. Hit the subscribe. Don't be unsubscribing when you leave either. Somebody will mess around and get slapped. Unsubscribing when you leave. Get out of here with that foolishness. And somebody pass me my Colorado concoction.